And I think we are finally live on my slow computer. Live in the fact that we are pre-recorded. Welcome to Star Trek Next Frontier, for those of you who are watching, which are probably all the people in the room currently. So this is the 8th episode. The name will be coming at the end of said session, this session at least, our first session. This is going to be probably the first part of maybe 1 or 2 parts for this episode, but we'll see how things go. As you may see, we have a full house today, and we have even a new face in the crew, so I am excited to see where this goes. Now, this is a new episode coming off of our last Klingon episode. So that was kind of a side story. We're now getting back to the DEGRASSE Tyson. So as you can see, everyone is in their Starfleet characters right now. So not going to do any kind of introductions or anything, even with the new character that I think it would be best just to see everything play out on screen, as it were. So bear with us and let's enjoy the ride. Okay? So just a setup of what's going on. It's been a couple of weeks, 2-3 weeks maybe about, since the conclusion of the Klingon adventure. Commander Locke has now returned back to DEGRASSE Tyson, and he has resumed his duties as the first officer. You're continuing, the whole ship is continuing its search for the USS Darwin, trying to find out what happened to that ship nearly 100 years ago, so Starfleet can close the book on that chapter of one of the first vessels to explore the Shackleton Expanse. And as usual, as you are traveling through this vast area known as the Sphere of Zilzik, you are also scanning, you're taking readings, you are still a science ship, you are still explorers. So while you are on this mission to find the final resting place of the Darwin, you are also going to make your pit stops to do all your Star Trek sciencey stuff as usual. Okay? So as we are in some traveling time and our episode picks up, resumes, we can start with any kind of social scene if anyone would like to call for one. It's been a while since your Starfleet characters have been on camera, so if there's anything you want to do to warm up or interact with another character, feel free to call it out and we'll start that way.
If no one has anything, I've got one scene.
Okay, you're the first voice, so go ahead. Lieutenant James, what would you like to do?
All right. So the scene starts off in holodeck 1. There's a sort of a medical facility that she's in at the time, with a little bed there, and off in the back something else.
Okay.
Lieutenant James walks to the door and taps a communicator. Lieutenant James to Captain Savick.
Okay, Captain responds. She's on the other side. What is it, Lieutenant?
Captain.
Yes.
I have something I would like to show in holodeck 1. If yourself and Lieutenant Weber could come down and have a look, please.
Very well, I will meet you there in 5 minutes.
Thank you. And tap again, and Lieutenant James to Lieutenant Weber.
Yes, go ahead.
Lieutenant, I have just asked the captain to pop down to holodeck 1. If you could also accompany the captain, I have something to show the both of you.
Yes, I'll be right there.
Thank you.
Okay.
And
Captain makes her way down, and I assume would arrive roughly same time as Lieutenant Weber.
Good morning, Captain.
Lieutenant. Now, about a year ago, we came across an interesting people. The technology interested me greatly. I have been working on something since then, and it's still a work in progress. We're not there yet, but she touches the wall panel, and the doors open. You look inside, and there's, as I said, the sort of a medical laboratory.
Mhm.
Off to one side is a single medical bed. What you notice, though, if you go in, is a lot of the displays over the medical bed are actually things like brainwave patterns and stuff like that, not so much, your normal blood pressure and heart rate and those sort of things that you would normally see
Mhm.
on a medical bed. And near the back, you see a figure standing there. Looking from this point of view, sort of very much like another version of Lieutenant James, but in casual clothes.
Hmm.
Lieutenant James sort of waves you both into the room if you go in.
Mhm.
Right. Captain, well, as I said, we came across a race nearly a year ago, or just over a year ago. This technology, I think, could revolutionize Starfleet.
And
As it
what
did with these
technology
people.
are you referring to, Lieutenant?
Well, if you remember, we came across a race that was traveling space as holograms.
Oh yes, the Gene. I remember them. Yes, of course.
Well, Lieutenant James sort of reaches over and grabs 2 data pads and hands you both a data pad. I believe I'm close to being able to do something similar.
Something similar along the lines of what exactly, Lieutenant?
Copying a personality into a hologram, rather than something like the EMH, which is a program designed as best as possible to simulate people. This would actually be the consciousness copied.
Fascinating.
So
Lieutenant Weber,
you could have
you seen
sorry?
any of this? I'm sorry, Lieutenant Weber, have you seen any of this research before from Lieutenant James?
I know. I'm quite surprised and intrigued. Sounds really interesting.
Well, so far a lot of my tests have been successful. Obviously, I'm working with a simulated brain, I guess, moving to a simulated hologram. I've borrowed the EMH to help build the copy of myself over there. But I believe I'm nearly ready to attempt to copy a human or humanoid brain pattern.
So far, how far have you gotten? To say you are ready to try?
Well, like I said, I've got the hologram there, and it's ready for the transfer.
Mhm.
I have done obviously not working with a real life consciousness yet. I have done the best I can to simulate an intelligence / brain that the system can try and transfer or copy, rather. It will work slightly differently when a humanoid brain is used. Obviously, copying something that's already data is a lot easier than turning the brain patterns of a living creature into something that is data and then transferring that. So I won't know how things go until I try it. But I believe this is ready. Or close to.
Well, that's the
The
question.
hologram, I think, is...
Don't step over into territory of experiments on sentient beings if this turns out to work.
Well, on the data pad there, you'll see I've done many tests, and I believe I've accounted for everything I can think of that may go wrong. But
you know, if it
I think,
works, I'm just saying if it works, we cannot just shut it off again. I think.
well, the technology that it's copied from was, if I'm not mistaken, designed in such a way that the personality could then be copied back. I'm not quite at that stage yet. One step at a time, so to speak. But I believe I'm very close to being able to copy to a hologram. Then I will need to work out how to copy back without overriding the sentient being's actual current personality, because obviously that would cause issues there. But like I said, I will cross that bridge.
I'm looking at the captain, trying to...
Okay, the captain continues scanning the data pad before looking up with her visored face to Lieutenant James. She says, "Indeed, your research does seem to be quite thorough, Lieutenant. However, as Lieutenant Weber has mentioned, even if it were to work, this isn't something that I fully comprehend the morality behind. If it's something we need to shut off, or can we shut it off? Is it a separate life form if there are two versions of this personality out there? What rights does this new being have once there are one or more versions of this hologram present? However, what's that?
If only Drake were present.
Yeah. Why does everyone always mention Drake when we talk about copying personalities? I lost it. However, as you likely are well aware with how thorough your research is, Lieutenant James, the whole entirety of that Gen A colony died due to a malfunction with this technology. If the originators of this technology were not able to work out all the bugs after centuries, I'm not sure if I can authorize any direct experimentation on a living member of this crew. That includes yourself, Lieutenant James. However, I do agree that this is quite a fascinating step forward for Federation holographic technology. Lieutenant Weber, what do you think?
Oh, well, I basically agree, but I do still think that in theory, at least, these studies should go on, because it might lead to some very interesting and promising results.
Indeed.
Of course, the
Captain,
we just discussed still.
if I may, with this technology, Captain, we could, in theory, send an entire away team on an away mission without risking a single life. We could, in theory, have Starfleet's best doctors on hand at any time. We could we could send people into places of the parts of the ship like the nacelles while the ship is still running to make repairs. This technology, I do understand, has its issues, maybe, but the applications of it, I mean, especially now after what Starfleet has been through, more than ever, we need people and ships out there doing science again, discovering and keeping an eye on our borders. With this, we can have ships and away teams manned completely, potentially, by this technology. And certainly, like I said, away teams where people might go into dangerous situations and there is no risk of endangering a single life.
But wouldn't we basically create new people and just assign them to places that we want them to be in?
Well, I mean, with this, once I have it working properly, we will be able to, when the holograms come back from whatever mission they are on, in theory, we should be able to copy the knowledge that they've gained on that back to the originating sentient being. In this instance, she points to the hologram in the back. In this instance, myself, for example, I could send, if I had this working now, I could send her into one of the nacelles and have her scan the warp coils while we're even traveling, and come back and not just tell me, but upload that information back in, so I as though I had scanned it myself. We would have that knowledge.
You just said she is going to tell you what she found out, so she will be a separate being. You will not be linked in some way.
Captain Savick raises her hand to cut into the conversation. While I do agree that this is very fascinating technology and something I do wish for you to pursue, I also, as I mentioned, have to agree that there are shades of gray when it comes to this morality. To continue this project, I would like you to work with Lieutenant Weber and consult with Lieutenant Thadagia as well, as any medical issues might be a critical element of dealing with the actual bodies connected to this technology. But thank you very much for bringing this to my attention, Lieutenant. Also, I would like to know if Lieutenant Commander Velik has any input on this as well. So I will be consulting with him later, if you do not mind.
By all means, Captain.
You were saying something, Lieutenant Weber, before the end? I cut you off.
Oh, I just said it's still very impressive research. So.
Okay, so the captain hands back the data pad and allows the two lieutenants to maybe continue discussing the pros and cons of this as she heads back out to the bridge and we'll bring this scene to a close there for something to explore in the future. But thank you, nice opening scene. Thank you, and Lieutenant Weber, nice jumping in and then picking up right where you needed to be. That was good. That was good. Nice interplay. Anyone else want a social scene before anything kicks off? Also, I would like to point out, as I didn't mention at the beginning, we are starting with 14 threat because we have 7 players today. Is it not insane?
That's scary.
That
We
is
confirm that in the rules.
it sounds scary, but I mean I'm so excited. So this is great.
I
14
would just like confirmation in the rules.
Oh, we'll look it up later. Okay. Anyone else want to do a social scene before anything else kicks off? Go right ahead.
Yes. If I may.
Oh,
I would like
please.
to,
That's way
borrow
too-
our good doctor for a moment.
Good doctor. We only have the one, so you're gonna have to take the Dagia. Hey, there we go.
The fine doctor.
Okay, the good enough doctor
so-
here.
He's all right.
Yeah.
The Shran is he's leaving the holodeck now, and he's
This is
pretty beat
later,
up.
by the way. Yeah.
Yes. He's pretty beat up. He's been in some combat simulations, and the safety protocols were turned off. He's not exactly walking straight. One of his antennae seem to be missing, and he's almost intoxicated looking, shambling toward the sick bay. The sick bay doors open, and he just falls onto a bio bed at that point. And he just lays there waiting for someone to pay him any attention.
On your way there, you walk past Commander Lulk, who just looks as, oh, someone's having a good day.
Pats him on the shoulder hard. It's fine. Yeah.
The Shran does not give a positive vibe, if that's if I can admit
An even more negative vibe.
It's even more negative vibe.
A
than
negative Fourth Strand vibe. Yeah.
So yes, he a much a negative vibe is gave after that, and he's laying on the bio bed, just waiting, hoping to die. I think at this point.
Well, I see you walk in here, and I'm gonna glance over. I'm just gonna kind of casually, slowly kind of walk over, circle around the bed there. You know what? I should let you stay here for a while.
Maybe you should.
You know what
Just-
I told you about this.
Just fix it, doctor. I don't need lectures. Just fix it.
All right. So I'm going to go about my business here, just fixing them up. So what level did you get into this time?
42.
Impressive.
Well, I could do better. I will do better.
I may have to join you one of those days.
I'm not sure you could, sir. Not saying that couldn't, just some of us are better suited for medical fields.
I assume that is a challenge.
Take it how you will. Just give me a hypo spray and fix
Fine.
this. This, please. Just fix it.
All right, I'm going to do a basic medical scan just to see if there's anything wrong, yeah, at least with his antenna.
Yeah, it's gone. That's what's wrong with it. I can,
Yeah, the scans show he's just going to need the regenerative treatment to get to start growing back into place quicker, sooner
Okay.
rather than
Could you
later.
put a
Your standard
Could you put a
treatments.
fake one on there for the
I
time
believe, we
being?
can, I believe we can fix you up with something.
A prosthetic, maybe. That
But
would
your
be nice.
Sidagia, your scans also show, as you've seen, the previous scars from the other times he's been stumbling into the sick bay, as you're well aware of. Plus, you're detecting other scars that are healing naturally on their own that were not there the last time you fixed him up, but are there now. So it seems like there's been a number of times that he didn't bother coming into sickbay, and he's just letting these wounds take their own course.
So, in other words, I'm going to have to administer your standard treatment.
That would, yeah, that's what I'm looking for.
All right, this will take just a few minutes, so I'm going to get the appropriate gear for that.
For some reason, I don't like how that sounds. What's the appropriate gear?
Oh, you'll see.
I'm not seeing anything. You're gonna show me what the appropriate gear is.
We're going to work on that antenna of yours, see if we can get something a little more durable.
As long as it's the right shade of blue, that's all I care about.
I was thinking more pink.
Oh. That's why I like you, Doc. You keep spirits up.
No problem. I will get you fixed up real quick here.
Okay, you got the treatment going on there. Anything else you want to add this round before the scene ends?
No, that's fine. Just my
Alright.
cheerful self.
Just your cheerful self, and with a special guest appearance by Law too, just ruining your day even more than it was. Okay. Nice.
Thanks.
Anyone else want to call for a social scene to set things up?
I think, sorry. I think I'll just do a quick, like, brief camera cut of, like, Alder and Log in the holodeck, carrying on from their previous thing of
Yeah.
the bungee jumping experience. But this time, I almost feel we're going to be doing the polar opposite, and you see an interior or a room of, like, a very fancy British tea room, as Log and Alder are sitting across the table enjoying some cucumber sandwiches and tea, as Alder is introducing him to the concept of high tea.
Right?
Well, Log, this is very much, I thought, I had a friend back on the colony I was in. He a fine British gentleman with a magnificent moustache, and he introduced me to this wonderful thing known as high tea that some people did. So I thought I'd introduce you to this amazing aspect. What do you think?
The drink is very clear.
It is, isn't it? It's actually like a rather refined blend called the pungency, I think, from the country of Japan.
Oh God.
And it's normally without any alcohol in it.
Yes, indeed. Like alcohol, let's just say we'll keep that for a later lesson, shall we?
We need no lessons on alcohol.
True. I suppose in that case, you'll be the one teaching me, pretty much.
Quite possibly.
Yeah, I wonder if Captain Savick would want to join us. Do you think she'd be keen?
I can't imagine why not. I mean, maybe if we were back to bungee jumping, not as much.
Well, yeah, I suppose that's true enough, right? By the way, what do you think of the cucumber sandwiches?
As I eat it, I wonder, am I actually eating something?
Well, that's the joy of it anyway. Mind if I top up your glass?
Oh, please do.
Oh, this pungency is quite aromatic, isn't it?
It's missing something.
What? What's in missing? What would you add to this experience?
Live combat would be excellent. Some entertainment.
Oof. I think I'm gonna have to just check whether that's part of the ritual that British people did. Perhaps it is. I don't know. But let's check up on that first.
Yes, please do. It would quite enhance the experience, I believe. Sound of
And-
battle ringing in the background. It's quite relaxing, just like this tea.
Oh, who knows? Perhaps this will catch on with other Klingons then.
That might be a bit of a stretch. But I suppose if you replace the cucumber sandwiches with the entrails of a fresh hunt, and you replace this tea with strong drink, then this could most certainly be something popular among the Klingons.
Yeah, perhaps a training regime using a battler to prepare cucumber sandwiches would be rather fun, I think.
I would like to see other Klingons' face as they ate cucumber sandwiches. Would be quite entertaining.
Indeed. I think that's all I want to show.
I do have to applaud you. I thought that Alder's teaching of Earth culture was going to be tailored more for his Klingon side, so I'm glad we got to see Locke sitting down sipping tea from a teacup in probably an English garden somewhere. So that was nice, and curse you for bringing up the pungency again. So that is now canon in our Star Trek. That
it exists in the Star Trek
that
universe.
exists now, and I didn't even want to exist in this universe, and now it exists in the Star Trek universe too. So all right, well, we're going to be referring to that in the future. But thank you. All right, so that's good. Their bonding has continued. I'm happy to see that. I'm glad that didn't end. Anyone else want to do a social scene? Anyone else want to call? I think Drake, you were saying something before that.
Yeah, it's going to be a really quick one, which follows on quite well with all of those. But I'm hoping to run into Commander Lulk in a corridor somewhere.
He is in corridors from time to time.
Yes, especially after the Shran earlier as well. He does peruse looking for witty comments. But yeah, so Commander Lulk can be walking down the corridor when Drake comes jogging over and Commander, it's nice to have you back. I hope you're settling in after your blood-pumping adventure on the Klingon ship.
Yes. All times on Klingon ships are blood-pumping.
Lovely to hear. It's actually why I was hoping to catch up with you. After you're reading the report on your adventure, I was hoping that at some point in the near future you wouldn't mind training me in Klingon combat techniques. I think it could be really useful, potentially in something we can train the entire crew in as well further down the line. Is that something you'd be open to?
Locke just bear hugs Lieutenant Drake and lifts him up off his feet and gives him a big hug, kind of probably squeezing a bit too hard. And, Lieutenant, this is an excellent day. He sets him back down. Is that the appropriate human response? I think so. My mother always told me that hugging is a sign of friendship, and when something you do with someone when you're extremely happy.
That is certainly the correct response, Commander, as Drake is gingerly touching his ribs, hoping they're not completely cracked.
Excellent. Well, after our first training session, you'll be able to easily remove yourself from such a grip.
I look forward to learning that technique, Commander. Thank you. Now, I must be on my way. I've finally managed to book the Hollow Suite. It's been really busy today, as Drake starts to leave.
Carry on, Lieutenant.
Thank you, Commander.
Okay.
End scene.
Okay. And anyone else? I know everyone's appeared so far, but not everyone has created one, and I don't want to steal the moment if somebody had something planned. So, any other player wish to create a scene to do something with their character? Everyone's okay?
Yeah, I'm good.
All right. I'm going to take the non-verbal commitments as being... Oh, there's a voice.
Just a quick, not a scene actually, just something in between. So during those last 2 weeks, I've been asking several crew members to step to my shrine and do some whatever. It's part of their tradition and monitoring, like I've been doing.
Okay. So he's still keeping up his experiments with his Bajorn shrine that he created. Yeah. So, okay. All right. Noted. Anyone else, or are we good?
I think we're good.
I think we're good. Okay. Because, like I said, it's always awkward online because there's latency, there's delays, and as I said, I'm rarely looking at the screen, so just want to make sure we're good.
I think you know what my answer is all the time.
Yeah, I know what your answer is all the time. Okay, hang on. Okay, I'm going to switch the screen over and just getting it all ready. Let's see. Yeah, might as well do. I think we'll cut over to we'll just go right over to the bridge. It's been a while since I've done this. We'll say some time has passed. We're now on the bridge doing that. Can everyone see that?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
good. So we have...
Yep.
All right. Okay, so...
Am I cleared for bridge duty? I'm sorry, I have to ask.
I think by this time, yeah, maybe it's maybe what's the word I want to say? It's maybe provisional, just to make sure.
Okay. All right.
Make sure you're not going to flip out.
All right, carry on.
Okay. So yeah, we'll say you're on the bridge. Okay. So some time has passed, and while you're on the bridge, Lieutenant Alder, one of your panels lights up that you're starting to detect an incoming signal.
Captain, we seem to have an incoming signal. Would you like me to put it through?
Yes, please. Put it on main screen.
Okay, Alder activates, puts it on the main screen.
Okay. It goes on main screen. There's no video feed coming in with the signal, but there's audio. So you get a series of beeps, like long and short beeps, and it seems almost like a scrambled data signal that's coming in now that you're listening to it.
Am I able to run that through some sort of decoder?
You could definitely do that. I mean, you have a lot of talents about computers, and that it probably would not take too long to have the computer do it, but you could probably do it even faster on your own if you were to apply yourself. So it's your call. You could attempt to roll for it and try to gain momentum, as this would be a difficulty of 0. Otherwise, you could just sit back and let the computer do it on its own.
Well, let's see. I suppose I might as well roll so I can get back into roll 20 and see how to do it again. So let's go for it.
Okay.
Let's see. So that would be, I suppose, control and either science or, engineering maybe, right?
Control or science, either science or engineering, yeah, either would be fine. I think science might be more normal, as this is more like codes and adjusting things rather than the actual hardware itself, but you are free to describe how you're doing it, so it could be either of them.
Okay, well, I would say that I'm going to go for like a control engineering, because I'm sort of using my computer expertise here to run it through a series of algorithms that I've been doing in my off time, that I've been working on specifically for something like this, just in case we do come across coded messages or messages that are at least non-verbal like this. So yeah, I think I'll that's how I'll frame it.
Okay, and go ahead, get that ray again. It's regular 2 dice. Can somebody else roll for the DeGrasse Tyson as well on Roll20?
I can do that.
Okay.
Well, let me check here again then. So I'd want to be going for control engineering. Focus used, probably yes, because I've got computers as a focus.
Yes, that will work.
Complication range
Just
is
one. Just one.
one. Still task roll 1. And
Task roll should
that's
be
good to go.
2, because you
sorry,
rolled 2
that's one.
dice, yes.
Okay,
As
well,
for the DeGrasse Tyson, that would be, I would say maybe communications and science, and that's a task roll of 1, and focus is always on. Okay, you got 1 success and 1 complication as well. 1 complication as well. I don't know if you have any abilities to re-roll if you want to get rid of that complication, but it's your choice.
no, let's keep it. It makes it fun.
Okay, otherwise, so you are gaining 1 momentum because it was a difficulty of 0. So you do get 1 momentum in the pool right now. As for the complication, as for the complication, we'll just bank it as 2 more points of threat for right now, because I have ideas, and now I have so much threat that I can freely explore my desires, so I'll just take it as that. Okay.
So 16 threat.
That is
Sorry,
now
16 threat.
That
right?
is indeed 16 threat. For those of you keeping score at home, I've never had this much threat before, but we've never really had this many players, or at least it's been a long time. Okay, so you quickly, even faster than the computers, your just fingers dancing on the board, like doing your own algorithms to not translate, but to decipher what is in the code. What you get is it's a very old, like a scrambling. It's a very old security scrambling system used by Starfleet over 100 years ago. So it is an automated distress beacon code that you are picking up. And what it is transmitting is its coordinates, basically, its last known coordinates.
Okay, well, Captain, it seems to be a transmission that's quite an old transmission, at least, that's giving coordinates for a distress signal. Would you like me to send that through to the helm?
Yes, indeed. Are you suggesting it's a Starfleet signal?
It would appear to be so.
And you're saying it is an old signal?
It seems to be from the way it's coded, yes.
Captain looks over at Commander Locke. This may be our first solid clue as to where the USS Darwin has ended up.
Yes, Captain, we seem to have caught a break in the matter. It's about time.
I would agree with you, Commander. Mr. Thishran, are you receiving the data?
Aye, Captain.
Set a course. Let's see what's out there.
All right. I'll enter the course in.
Okay, the ship will just speed along to there. The ship gets to a point in space where you where sensors, Mr. Alder, you detect a very old distress beacon from a old Type 4 shuttlecraft, Type 4 being the same kind that you had found crashed, or the DEGRASSE TYSON found crashed on that ice moon with, or Thishran, you were there at the same time too. So Thishran and Thadajian, the captain, the same Type 4 shuttle from the USS Darwin. So that matches up as well. Wait a second. So yeah, Mr. Alder, can you please bring in that distress beacon? Can we get a tractor beam on it?
Okay, and Alder activates tractor beam, gets a lock on it, and starts bringing it in.
Okay, she calls down to engineering to have a team take a look at the beacon. So it would probably be brought into main engineering. So we will transfer over to there if nobody minds. Unless anybody else wants to say something at this time. I just have to find engineering. We'll save. Is that one? Okay, that's really weird. Lieutenant James. I am trying to get you into engineering, but it is not accepting your picture here. Oh, that's weird. That's really weird. Let's see here. Let me put this guy out here. Yeah, that's strange. I wonder if I have to save it on my own, because I don't know. That's really odd. So let's see. Yeah, I apologize for that. It's not letting me use your picture. It's just using it like a little meeple looking thing, which from your description you do not look like a meeple, I believe. Hang on.
No,
not like a meeple. So I was correct in assuming your character is not a meeple. So let me do this the old-fashioned way. So I'm just saving it, uploading it separately, and I'll fix that stuff later. But for the sake of it, let's at least have her in there. Okay, there we go. Okay, we're kind of getting people in there now. All right. Apologies for that. There we go. Okay, going into main engineering, you have the... Assuming everyone can see that now, you have the distress beacon brought in. Lieutenant, what we call you, Lieutenant Weber, as well as the lead science officer, chief science officer, you would also be brought in to examine it. So you would meet in main engineering.
Right.
Okay. And actually, we'll say actually that Lieutenant Commander Velik is not actually here because you are the one on schedule this time, as he is elsewhere at the moment. Okay, so it's brought into engineering with James and Weber, and yes, you see as it's wheeled in, or it's carted in, I should say, you see that it definitely is a very old model distress beacon. Hasn't been used on shuttlecraft in the Federation for well over half a century, this type. So definitely the timelines, the model, everything, just at a glance, that's all lining up with your search.
Just a quick question. Lieutenant James has been around for quite a while, right? Because Weber's just been here for a few months or a few weeks, actually.
Yeah, Lieutenant James. Yeah, she's been here for a while, but she's mainly what did we say? You're mainly like
She's
the Delta ship
kept
or
to
whatever.
herself
Like,
and
yeah.
sort of in the background doing, you know, she's sort of shy and a bit yeah, we'll just go with shy for now. And so she's been doing a lot of maintenance, going through, you know, the Jeffries tubes and just keeping to herself, and you know, in off when she's off shift, you know, stays in her room, reads her science and engineering journals, and so just she's not been a big part of the crew because she's just, you know, kept to herself.
Okay. But the research, this encounter, you're basing your current research on that happened on this ship, or was it a former ship? Because you said it was a year ago. So.
Yeah. So the one of the first things from this ship. So she was there. She just doesn't really. She wasn't on screen at the time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's brought
a lot
in
of her stuff with that.
What's that?
Apologies. I was just going to say a lot of her stuff would have been going through reports of people who were there. She didn't get involved, or at least, as you said, it would have been off screen if she had spoken to anyone.
Okay.
Okay. So there it is. There is the device. Now, of course, there was no shuttle with it. It's just the distress beacon that a shuttle can fire out. And it was adrift in space. But it would... it's your call. What do you want to do with this device at the moment?
Question first of all.
Sure.
With the distress beacons, 100 years seems quite some time.
Mm-hmm.
Would a power source for a distress beacon normally last that long?
No.
Right.
Well, not if it's running constantly. Not if it's running constantly, I should say.
All right. First thing I'm going to do, unless Lieutenant Weber has any ideas, I'd like to just scan the outside and determine from any markings whether the distress beacon had been fired recently, as in when it gets shot out, it would leave, I would imagine, leave some sort of scarring marking on the device, and trying to match whether the age of the scarring is something that has been fired recently or a long time ago, and if there's any markings of it having sat in space for a long time, you know, has it been hit with microparticles and stuff like that? So has it been, is it a recent thing? Is it, or, yeah, anyway.
Okay, yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Yes. So, yeah, quick scan of that. Again, a lot of this stuff you're going to find out, but we could do a scanning roll here, which would then allow you to do obtain information momentum spends as well. So you could probably do it as a lead, and Lieutenant Weber could support, or vice versa, depending on how you want to do it. Or if you want to do two separate scans, like you're going to just focus on its physical components, and while Weber will be scanning its more computer internals. You could do it that way, but either way, you could decide how best to share this task.
I think it's best if you do the main roll and I assist, right? That's probably what we would do first step.
Okay.
Well, I think first of all we should determine its age. And I do like the idea of perhaps once we've determined how long it's been sitting in space for, we should do things like seeing what data is in there, if any, and perhaps we could work out where it was and work out any drift patterns once we know its age and how long it's perhaps been sitting in space.
Okay.
Because if it's been sitting in space for some time, it would naturally drift based on all sorts of phenomena and solar winds and so on and so forth.
Yes. Okay. Well, then you'll have, I assume you'll have your engineering tricorder. Weber will have his regular tricorder. So if you're doing the lead, that would be for, I think probably for both of you at least, just a control and science or control and engineering. That would, either of those will work just fine. For Lieutenant James, that would be a task roll of 2. Do you have any focuses that apply to this? And Weber, if you are supporting, that would be task roll of 1. And also see if you have any focuses that
Well, it's probably not been there for long enough to use my archaeology focus.
No, maybe not that old. Maybe not that old. He's there with a tiny little broom sweeping away the dust on it. Yeah, not that long. Yeah, unfortunately.
And I'm assuming my astronautical engineering probably not so much either.
Not quite in this case. No, again, not going quite.
So yeah, focus is no for me.
Okay, let's see. So no focus.
What was the complication range?
Complication range is still just 1 each. I'm not doing anything to up the difficulty, and the difficulty is just also going to be 0. How do I make... I couldn't figure out how to make the window pop out. Finally did. And it's taking a long time. Okay, so go right ahead. Oh, that's right, Julian. Are you not able to use the sheet still?
I'm trying. Just it's so messed up on my pad.
Oh, no problem. I'm assuming 6 is under your ability, so I think we're fine there. I don't think you have an ability that is that small. So that would be 3 successes there. So that would be +3. You now have 4 momentum. So your basic scan, you said the main thing you want to determine is how long it's been out there. Is that right?
Yeah. How long ago it was fired,
Okay.
Released from the shuttle, and how long it had been sitting in space.
Okay. So the answer that you get is how long it's been out there. It was fired probably about like 80 years ago or what have you, about the time when the Darwin disappeared. And it seems the radiation that's on it that you detect, both of you are detecting, show that it has been exposed to space for that long. Now you do get your, you got 4 points of momentum now, which you can spend points to get more information that's picked up from your scans. And Julian, as the chief of science, head science officer, whatever it is, you also get 1 free point of momentum specifically for asking a question. It never goes into the pool, but when you're successful with a tricorder or computers in your science scans, you also get 1 free question, basically.
Yeah.
So you have a free question and up to 4 other questions. And now there might be some questions you'll have that if you want to spend a point, say I'm spending a point to ask such and such. But if it's something that after I hear it's like, oh, that would probably been part of the previous thing, you could get that information without losing that point of momentum. Okay.
I think I have an idea for a question.
Go ahead.
Can I see if it's been traveling much, or if it has been pretty much at the same spot as it was where it was fired?
Yeah. Oh, okay, so yeah, your scan, your free question for that, so you don't lose any momentum on there. You can tell by when it was picked up and how it was going that yes, it had momentum, so it was traveling quite likely the entirety of the 80 years that it's been out there.
And would there be a way to get close to the, or calculate back the point where it was fired, just taking in all we know about all these anomalies and whatever it might have passed?
From what you know, that should be likely. Yeah, you should be able to work something out and at least get a ballpark figure of where it may have come from. Yeah, that's definitely something.
I would like to check on its power source. How has it been running all this time?
Okay, that's a momentum information spend to dig through the scan.
Okay.
Okay, so going through there, you see that it's been running in a very low power standby mode, and what you're detecting is that what this low power mode is meant for is it activates the main power source when it detects another Federation ship come within its kind of scanning area. So you could speculate it was the DEGRASSE TYSON coming within this range that kicked it on, basically. Which a free point of information that you would know just from history, or both of you might know from that, is a lot of vessels, especially during wartime or in hostile territories, had those functions on their distress beacons because they didn't want the enemies to pick up where a ship might be hiding or might be lost or landed. So it was a safety feature, so only when friendly ships came near, it would activate the main power supply to transmit.
Is there any data on the device that we can get off it? I mean, did it record anything, or is it just literally a beacon going, a distress beacon giving out a message? Has it recorded anything?
It recorded. Let me just take a look here. I don't think. Oh, I think I said 80 years it's been out of space. I think I don't think that's the correct timeline. What did we say for it? It's been like between 60 and 70 years, something like that. So, just keep that in mind. Let's see. And there's nothing. Nothing. Or no, wait. What it would say? Yeah. This could be on. So there is data locked inside of its computer core. There is just a very small amount of data locked in there that would be easy to unlock. So looking for that, that's not going to take you a momentum point. That's just going to be something you could do. So being a Federation ship, you're able to access it, and it basically it's just a, I don't know if snapshot is the right word I want to use for it, but it's data about a Class H moon. But there's no coordinates given.
Does it give an idea of when the Class H moon was recorded? Was that roughly when it was fired? Has that
Yes.
been since?
It seems to be that was entered into the memory core, likely before it was fired.
So we need to find out where it was fired and then look for a class. What was it? Class H?
Class H.
Class H.
Class H moon. Okay, I think we should meet up in the conference room and share our findings. Unless there's something else you would like to look into.
Everyone good? Shall we take it to the
Can't
conference
think
room?
of anything right now.
All right, so that's still 3 points of momentum banked. So we're okay there. Let me copy Lieutenant James. Oh, actually, you know what? I think I can actually save her now that I have her on the board here. Not to Mabern. That would be a very, very big shock if Mabern suddenly morphed into Lieutenant James. No, it has to be. Hang on. Sorry, still dealing with 100 windows. There we go. Click to upload. No,
Did
you
we-
selected token. Yes, there we are. Okay. I think I have her ready now. Okay, good enough.
Did we actually determine the path where we believe the pod came from? So did we extrapolate, where we found it and its momentum, its things that might have passed that would have.
Well, I thought we would do that. I thought we were going to do that after we filled in the others on what we found out.
Should we not have that as well to report to the captain and the others?
We could do that off screen if you would like, Lieutenant Weber. You want to show
okay.
up there with the information?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. Why don't we do that instead of... Unless you really, really want to roll for it. Okay. Oh.
Not necessarily.
There we go. Hang on, just getting everyone in their seats. I think it would make sense if Weber and James are standing there at the computer and
Can I also
giving their
see-
PowerPoint presentation. What's that?
Can I also see the or have a guess at the course that the Darwin was taken while it was firing the probe?
I'm sorry, could you
Or-
say the course the what has taken?
The ship had taken while it was firing the probe, so that we have an idea where to look for this moon.
Oh,
the-
yeah,
the
yes.
Direct in relation to the probe.
Yes, you'll be able to, you'll be able to at least again extrapolate the course there. So, what we'll say to you is by the time you get into the conference room, once you call everyone and assemble them in the conference room, you would have been able to plot a likely course that it came from based on its momentum that it was traveling when it was there, calculating like its vector and if anything might have altered its course, and that if there's anything gravimetric or anything like that that might have shifted its course, and you narrowed it down to one possible location. We'll say that. How's that sound?
Perfect.
Okay. So it will be to a basically you found one class H moon that is in this sweet spot zone of the highest likelihood based on the duration where it was traveling. So you have all that information with you by the time, as you can see, the whole crew assembles inside there. And I think that's everyone. Let me make sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Is that everyone? Is anyone noticing they are not present in the room?
I'm there.
Okay. All right. So again, James and Weber are standing at their PowerPoint presentation. They're really nervous there. They got their clicker in their hand to change the slides, and they're letting everyone know what's going on. So go ahead, take it away, you two. Star Trek fashion. How's this
I
gonna
motion
go?
towards Saber
Yeah.
to give the presentation.
Remember, she's the shy one. You do something. You talk.
Do we really have to play this out? I mean, every
We
player
don't
was
have to.
listening.
We don't have to. But you could just explain what kind of information you're giving to everyone, and so you basically already had your scene with James. So this will be a good chance for anyone else to kind of speak up their concerns or thoughts, based on tracking down what could potentially be finally after 2 years of playing the resting place of the Darwin.
Was there any signs of damage on the pod?
That
Nothing.
Wear and tear. Wear and
There's
tear from
no
normal
indication
space, but
So
no
there's
weapons damage that I
indication
could
it was
see.
sent out in distress. I'm sorry. Let me clarify. In combat distress.
So there was nothing that, like Lieutenant James said, yeah, it was just the wear and tear.
That is promising. Was the information about the moon encoded in any specific way? Did it seem like it was meant to be kept secret?
Well, probes of that era were designed so that they only activate with Federation ships. So in that respect, it was kept secret from other races,
Of course.
but other than that, nothing special on it.
What information was in the computer of the probe?
Information on a Class H moon, which would have been put into its databanks
Huh.
just as it was fired, or moments before.
Why would anyone want to study a Class H moon? They're not exactly hospitable.
I dare say it was fired as potentially the shuttle went down.
And we have an idea where
Non-voluntarily.
this and we have an idea where this thing came from.
We believe so. We've tracked roughly how the trajectory of the probe and believe we have found a Class H moon that matches what was in the banks.
Hmm.
Can I
We're
just
going to
interrupt for a second and say that
Please.
on screen, Lieutenant Weber push a button and there's a wireframe rendering of a path going back to a moon, and then the image of a moon pops up on there, in 90s computer graphics.
super CG.
Yeah.
We are pretty sure that this is the moon the data refers to.
I have a question, maybe out of character. Is it in? Because I could see it there. There's the moon. Is it in this quadrant? Is it in the alpha quadrant?
You're in the beta quadrant right now.
Well, your beta.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
Don't outtrack me. You're not.
I'm merely clarifying. Jeez. No, it's
I asked if it was in the alpha quadrant. I didn't see it.
Yeah.
But okay, it is.
no,
it is
not
in the
Alpha
beta
Quadrant. You failed. You're off the ship. I thought we had talk about this before the game started. I said if you screw up quadrants one more time, you're out, and you did it. It's over.
Done.
Okay. All right.
Crocodile's coming for you.
Yeah. No. It's nearby enough because again the probe wasn't like flying at like any like significant warp speed. It's more or less just fired out at kind of an impulse level. So it's even after 60, 70 years, it's still not that far away.
Okay. All right.
Galactically speaking.
Okay. All right. I'm just narrowing things down.
Okay.
I do have a question. Obviously, this beacon was sent out in some sort of distress. Is there anything, any spatial entities, such as neutron stars, or anything that would have caused the ship to send out the beacon, rather than any hostile enemies? Anything we can see from our maps?
Would you say nothing that you've picked up from this far away yet? Anything else?
So it sounds pretty uninteresting to me. Why are we interested in this thing?
Are we not tracking where the ship this shuttle potentially came from?
Do we know that it came from that shuttle?
It certainly matches time and everything indicates to yes.
Was there
came from
no identification on the probe, so it's not
Right.
clear.
There's no identification on the probe.
It was just a
Any
Federation style probe, yes, but it.
Okay,
it
so
is-
nothing linked it to the Darwin. Okay, I thought it was clear that.
Okay, yeah.
It was programmed so that it only activated with Federation ships nearby, as probes and distress beacons of that era often did.
Same.
So if it's not from the Darwin, it's a pretty good replication of someone leaving a big breadcrumb.
Same. And have we ruled out any possibilities of, Romulans? Could it be fake?
You didn't do it.
Pretty good fake.
Can I retract the Romulan? That was almost insensitive. I'm sorry. Well, why does that have to be Romulans? Have we ruled out foul play?
With 100% certainty, no. But it matches Federation distress beacons. It is 60 to 70 years ago. It has been sitting in space since it was fired. Everything I would say says that it has been launched from a shuttle that was part of the Darwin's complement. If it is someone who is playing a trick, so to speak, leaving a breadcrumb, it's someone who knows a reasonable amount about Federation technology of the era and knows that we are looking for it.
Yeah. The Shran nods and turns to look to the captain and says, "Well, I'm willing to die for it. Let's go find it."
Well,
It
hopefully we
does
do not
seem
have
to
to die.
indicate-
Oh, Commander Locke wants to die. Yes, go ahead.
It's a good day, too.
It does seem to indicate that either it was sent by the Darwin, or, worst case scenario, it was sent by someone that knows about the Darwin. So, trap or not, following the lead is our best course of action.
Like I did say before, though, it has been sitting in space for the 80 years. So if it is someone, 60 to 70 years, not 80. If it is someone leaving a breadcrumb and luring us, it's someone with a heck of a lot of forethought.
The captain. Oh, go ahead, Locke, please.
Or a lot of patience.
Okay.
Or we
Cap-
could just ignore it and just ruin Bill's story. Just go somewhere.
Captain has you all executed right there. Mutiny. Captain finally speaks up and takes in everyone's comment, but says that indeed this is the best clue we've received in months of searching. I don't think this is one we can ignore, especially considering what we had discovered previously on the icy moon of AK-802b, I believe it was. It's the same type of shuttle, and it matches the time frame. There were no other Federation vessels this deep into the Shackleton Expanse, so I believe that we are obliged to follow up on this.
I agree with the captain. However, I would like to suggest that when we warp to the location, we warp a little distance away so that in case whatever caused this distress beacon to be launched in the first place isn't still active and potentially affects us as well.
Captain agrees.
Thank you, Captain.
It
Make
could
whatever-
be something from the planet.
Make whatever preparations are necessary, Mr. Weber, Mr. Alder. I would hope you conduct enough long-range scans as we are approaching to make sure we are not flying into a trap. Mr. Thadagia, if you would be so kind as to prepare any kind of medical treatment in case we do find anyone who is in need of our services when we arrive.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir.
All right, dismissed. And with that, it's about the 3 p.m. mark here. Let's take our 10-minute break as usual. Take a moment, stretch your legs, get a drink, wake up, and when we come back, we will fast forward to the planet. Okay, here we go.
See you in a sec.
Cheerio.
Let's see. Pause recording. And we are back from our commercial break. I hope everyone goes out and enjoys their Christmas Kentucky Fried Chicken, just like the commercial just showed you. I'm assuming it might be different depending on your locale. But there we go. Coming back in, we are now, the DEGRASSE TYSON is, or has, I should say, arrived in orbit of the Class H moon that the intrepid Lieutenant Weber and Lieutenant James have determined is the most likely origin from the old Federation distress beacon that they picked up moments earlier. So it now in orbit. Lieutenant Alder, indeed, you've been scanning. Lieutenant Weber, you were doing long-range scans and trying to detect for any anomalies. But as you are on the bridge, Lieutenant Alder, you are showing everything is clear. Everything is clear on the way in. There's no noticeable anomalies that could be dangerous with the ship. It seems to be a completely unremarkable Class H moon. If anyone's talking, I can't
Oh,
hear
sorry,
them.
I was talking without being muted. Captain, everything looks A-okay this side, no threats detected. Planet looks all good to go from what I can detect.
Excellent. Is the atmosphere capable of transport, or do we need to send a shuttle down?
Bill, do I need to bother rolling a sort of scan check for this, or
No, you don't have
would
to
I
do that.
already know that?
It should be stable enough for transporters. The only slight issue that you would know of, or everyone would actually know for Class H moon, is the fact that it's not really life sustainable, but moons such as this one could support life temporarily. like you won't want to stay down there for a long time. You wouldn't want to be on the surface without like proper equipment for a very long time and breathing in what's in the air. But for short periods, it's no problem. Of course, there are ways around it. Like with the shuttle, you have a place to basically take shelter. And also medical can provide any kind of treatment to try counteract effects for as long as possible.
Okay, I just relay said facts to the captain and Commander Lolk.
Okay, Captain looks to Lolk and says we need to get a scan on that planet to see if there is any settlement or any other trace of the Darwin.
Of course, Captain. And to add to that, I believe we should be scanning for any signs of life or signs that there could have been life in the recent history.
A good idea, Commander. Okay, let's do a quick scan then. Alder, you on the bridge, why not, right? So why don't you do a scan? Somebody on the DEGRASSE Tyson support it with a sensor scan. Who would like to do that?
Yeah, I can take care of that.
Okay, all right. Get a.
Science, I suppose, right?
Okay, that'll be for DEGRASSE Tyson. That is a sensors and science roll. Task roll of 1 should still be set. And Alder, just a control and science for you, please. I heard whoops. Okay. So that's 2 on there, and 1 more for the DEGRASSE Tyson.
Nice.
So you are now maxed out at 6. You now have 6 momentum. Max out there. Very, very extremely successful scan, so that's no problem there. What you do pick up is that you are not picking up, I should say, you're not picking up any life on the surface, but your scans do reveal metallic alloys and other traces that suggest that there is a artificial structure down there, and it does kind of match what you would expect from a Federation shuttle.
Bull, with that momentum, can I ask any questions?
Of course, yes, sir.
Do I have any indication how old are these structures?
The structure, it's only one structure that you're detecting, one small structure, and just scanning it, yeah, I would say that you are getting that it's between 50 and 75 years old.
And do I have an indication of like the condition of said structure? Is it still sort of good condition, or has it been dilapidated, or
it doesn't seem to
abandoned?
be, it doesn't seem to be in good condition from what your scans are getting.
Okay, Captain, there is one structure, one man-made structure on the planet. Looks to be 50 to 75 years that was constructed, so it sort of fits in the time frame we're looking for.
Indeed. We need to pinpoint the location and get a search and rescue team, perhaps, down there as quickly as possible.
Are we detecting any life signs?
None that I can see just yet.
Okay.
In any
Should
case,
send an away team immediately. Lieutenant Drake.
Yes,
What is
Commander.
your opinion? What is your opinion? Should we send? Do you believe that we should send a shuttle, or directly send the away team to the planet's surface?
I think that given the inhospitable inhospitable conditions of the planet that a shuttle would be the preferred method in case anything were to prevent the transporter from working. We would want a safe location we can retreat to without concerns of, well, slowly choking to death.
I tend to agree. There is no hurry.
Yes, it's been there for 60 years. I don't imagine it disappearing any moment soon.
And we have no sign of life at the moment, so I agree with your decision. We'll send a shuttle. Lieutenant Throne, I believe I can depend on you to pilot the shuttle.
Yes, sir.
Lieutenant Drake, I'd like you to lead the away team.
Yes, sir.
Lieutenant Thadagia, please join the away team in case there are any survivors.
On my way, sir.
Lieutenant Alder, I'd like you to remain on the ship and continue to scan the moon, the local system, and anything that might come of interest. We want to find out why the Darwin was here in this system in the first place.
We'll do so, Commander.
Lieutenant Weber, I'd like you to join the away team.
Sir.
We'll need someone that can inspect the ship. And Lieutenant James, please join Lieutenant Weber in investigating the ship.
Yes, Commander.
All right. Let's begin this operation.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you are going to take a shuttlecraft down to the surface. That is the Shran piloting. That is Drake, correct? Drake, you're going down
Yep.
too, right? That is James. That is Thadagia. Medical. Weber, what did you say he's going down or he's staying in?
Yeah.
He's going down too. Okay, and Alder's one scanning. Okay. Okay. All right, we got our away team. So, taking the shuttle down. Let's find where is down. When it comes
Sorry, I wasn't as clear as I could have been. If Weber can investigate if something happened to the ship because of local phenomena, and if Lieutenant James can investigate to see if it was a problem with the ship itself, an engineering problem.
Okay. And they are doing this all from the surface, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Just making sure. All right. Getting the map set up. Let's see here. Let's say it's this one. Okay. All right. So we'll say we'll just oh wait, I grabbed the wrong person. That's not. So we'll say cutting to the chase that there's nothing really dangerous in the atmosphere. There's nothing so inhibitive that would cause any sort of danger to you flying down. So we will just have the Shran very expertly pilot the shuttle down. So you all arrive on the surface, and I think I have the surface ready by now. So let's see. Do we have the surface?
Commander Loke knew that it would be an easy flight down, and that Lieutenant Thrawn's services were not entirely needed, but thought he might like to get down and do some, get into the action, as it were.
The Shrine feels like there's going to be a lot of action. He's got a real bad feeling about this.
He's just the whole way down. It's like, we're gonna die, we're gonna die, we're gonna die, we're gonna die. Thanks. All right, so the shuttle.
Absolutely.
Yep.
On the way down, Lieutenant James is going to sit at the co-pilot seat and try and engage Thrawn in idle chit-chat.
Chit-chat, which the Shran just ignores.
Yeah, which probably makes him go from thinking, "Oh, I've got a bad feeling about this, we're going to die," to "Please kill me."
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Kinda hope we die right now. Kinda hoping. Actually, no.
I could kill us all right
Yeah.
now.
Just go, meh. Goes in nose dive. Okay. Anyone else want to do something on the shuttle before you land? Speaking of which, since like we got that little scene of Lieutenant James trying to crack the tough nut of the Shroud, but meeting zero success. But anyone else want to do anything before we touch ground? I'm taking the overwhelming
I'm just keeping an
silence.
eye on.
Nope.
Okay.
Yeah.
Um,
good.
I'm just keeping an eye on. I was about to say life support, but the planet's atmosphere. That's what I was looking for.
Okay.
And you know, our shields and just making sure everything. I mean, shields probably aren't up, but you know, just keeping an eye on everything.
Okay.
Should we be
from-
wearing like EV suits or anything? Is this? We're cool to be on this moon for.
Yes,
10 minutes.
you would you could spend probably a few, maybe even up to a couple weeks on the planet, and still survive. It would
Okay.
be. You might be feeling extraordinarily sick. There probably would be no food for you to eat if you didn't have it down there with you already, or whatever you could find probably wouldn't suit you well. But with how the atmosphere is toxic, it is survivable to an extent. So maybe at the longest you could stay a couple weeks. For now, like a day or two, you might, without treatment, like Thadagia there, without treatment, you might be getting headaches, you might be feeling nauseous. But with some treatment, you would still be able to operate pretty much full function.
Okay.
Worst comes to worst, yeah, you would probably want EV suit if you were going to spend, like, if you knew you were going to spend multiple days down there, you would probably want either EV suit or that shuttle to have your own, like, pure breathable area.
Okay.
Okay. All right, so you are on the surface now, and you've landed close to the structure, and what the structure turns out to be is the remnants of an old Type 4 shuttlecraft. There we go. Oh, we're back at it. I just saw that as I swapped between windows here. Yeah.
Very nice.
Very nice, Drake. As usual, you're on
Thank you.
point.
Green Mountains had to find that weren't bushy.
Yeah, and you did it. You did it somehow, as always, in the moment. Now, I honestly don't remember what I was about to do when I caught that. Like, I'm sorry. So you get the structure turns out, again, like I said, it turns out to be, yeah, that's all I have, isn't it? Yeah. It turns out to be the remains of a shuttle. It's clearly seen better days. It's very banged up. It's broken. It came in for a rough landing, but it looks like it was. I should say, even though it was a rough landing, it wasn't necessarily a crash landing, like it just smacked into the surface. It seems like it has been repurposed a bit as a shelter in the meantime since it did land. If that makes any sense, because that was probably the worst description I could have verbalized in the moment. But it didn't crash and explode. It landed hard, and it never lifted off again, and somebody made it a shelter. For the time being.
Okay, guys, let's go investigate this shuttle. But Although I find it unlikely that someone will still be alive in there. If they are, it has been a very long time without human contact, so please be on guard. And I start making my way towards the shuttle.
You first, sir.
Always, Thashran.
Okay.
My phaser is out, by the way, just in case.
Okay. So you start heading towards the shuttle. You're looking around. You don't see any threats. You don't see anything moving. It's a pretty dry, desolate world, desolate moon. Basically, you only hear the wind blowing and just little rocks, pebbles, getting scattered about by your boots.
Drake is a bit jumpy with the wind as well. As soon as he goes, he's like, oh.
He shoots every wind that comes by him. Okay.
Not that bad, but close.
Every piece of wind by the block. You know, that's how you measure wind, right?
Yes.
All right, you're getting close. You're still picking up nothing. Thadagia, you're scanning around. You're getting no life signs at all. What kind of microbial life that you're picking up? It's nothing that's able to really sustain mammals or any large life forms. You're definitely not detecting any kind of humanoid life, Thadagia.
All right, so far I'm not detecting any life forms, especially human, nor any type of fauna that would sustain any type of life here.
No potatoes.
None.
Not even one.
I've got my engineering tricorder out, and I'm scanning for anything and everything in terms of, if there's any leaks or anything from the ship. The ship's been there for a while, plus it had a rough landing, so anything that might be toxic leaking from the ship, its health. Is there any battle damage that the tricorder can pick up?
Okay, yeah, then give me a control science or control engineering scan on that with the tricorder. That's also going to be difficulty 1. Drake, as you get
that's the complication.
No, a complication range is still 1. No, complication is some things will raise the complication range, but that's not the difficulty. So yeah. Drake, also as you're getting closer, you're kind of I assume checking the perimeter of the shuttle. You do pick up the name of the shuttle there in faded lettering that's a little sun bleached in this very dim, chilled star. It's the Huxley. Shuttlecraft Huxley. Okay.
Does that mean anything given the background reading we would have done on the Darwin?
I'd say that, assuming that you've all kept up to speed on what the complement of the Darwin was, since that is your mission, the Huxley was indeed one of the shuttles, one of the 2 shuttles assigned to the Darwin, and you already found the first one.
Okay.
So no more shuttles left for them.
I'll tap my transponder, not transporter. Captain, Commander, this does look like well, I can confirm this is the shuttle from the Darwin. This is the Huxley, the remaining shuttle assigned to the Darwin.
The captain acknowledges your information, and that starts getting passed off to everyone else on the ship, like Alder and that, to continue updating scans and knowing that you are dealing with the right target here. So picking up scans to see if the actual Darwin is anywhere nearby as well. Lieutenant James, you made your scan. I see you passed. You got your 1 success. I also got a complication. You have anything that could take that complication away?
I do not believe so.
Okay. So what you're detecting as, again, Drake's walking around, taking a look, securing perimeter, you are also going around scanning the actual structure itself. You notice that um, two things. You notice, well, first, visually, you can confirm too, and as you're scanning and everyone becomes clear, the shuttle seems to have a lot of scorching on it, particularly in the rear section, as if it got caught in a blast of something. But what's more peculiar is the hull is very pockmarked with something, or I should say, a large number of small somethings appear to have almost sandblasted the rear of the shuttlecraft, along with the scorching. So there's lots of very small, some microscopic, some the size of maybe coins, some maybe even a little bit bigger than that, pockmarking going on the whole entire aft portion. The second thing you do detect on there, with around that area where it's all pockmarked the whole way backside, there is a strong type of ionizing radiation that seems to have been part of what burned the hull. And the last thing that you are detecting from your quick scan of the exterior is that there's also different scorch marks, more focused, direct, intense scorch marks at a couple points along the nacelle and along the hull, that is indicative of weapons fire. Disruptors are probably intense enough to do it, but you can't actually get the energy signature from these blasts after all this time, so you can't really say exactly what kind of disruptor did this.
I would like to relay that up to the captain and commander and suggest that although it's unlikely any enemies are still sat around in the area 75 years later, to be on guard just in case.
Have we determined if is the shuttle open? Like, can we see inside of it?
The shuttle is the door is closed. The aft door, the back hatch is still closed.
Okay.
When you go around to the front and the windows, they are caked with layers of dust and grime. So even wiping it on the outside, you really can't see inside. You just get shadows.
Gotcha.
Once my scan is done,
Mm-hmm.
I will go to the back and see if we can open up the door.
Okay.
The Shran's gonna walk around and get next to the door. I'm sure there's like a handle switch or something, and he's going to put his hand on it and gesture to Drake as he pulls his own phaser out.
Drake,
we don't know.
Ready.
We don't know what's in here.
Agreed, Lieutenant.
Okay. So James is working on getting the door open. Theshran is there, ready to pop the handle. Right? You want to do the hatch handle too? So you're kind of side by side. That leaves also Thadagia and Weber. Are you see them doing this, and they're still completing their scans and getting that information. What are the two of you doing at the same time?
But actually, I think I was supposed to do what James already did, looking for any outside markings and stuff like that. So probably I joined the guys at the door.
Oh, I thought you were. I'm sorry. I thought you were going to be scanning for like outside of the shuttle, not the outside of the shuttle, like the surroundings of like.
But I was supposed to yeah. No.
Sorry. No. Go ahead. Tell me what you want to do.
Well, I think I was supposed to scan the outside of the shuttle, and James was supposed to scan the computers and everything. But I mean, it's done. It's all right. So I can just check the surrounding.
Okay, but the other thing with that, now that you know that there are two different types of radiation and like some very odd scorching, that you could focus on trying to determine the cause of those things as well, if you would like to. So if you want to investigate those in detail, yeah, that could be what you're doing on the outside there. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, just get a roll for me on that with your tricorder, and I'll get the results to you in a moment. Thedagio, what are you doing at this time?
No, I detected that radiation as well. Can I determine if that has any effect? Can he have any sort of negligible effect? Or
Okay. Yeah. Why don't you do a, for you that would be a either a reason or insight plus medical. And for Weber would just be, again, scanning with your tricorder would be a control and science.
Okay. I tried again with the form on roll 20. Maybe it works this time.
Okay. Okay.
Can't even get there. No. No need to split this on two devices. It's just doesn't work. Yeah,
That's okay. That's okay. If you can only do the D20, just do the D20.
Yeah.
Okay, a 17 and a 5. So I'm guessing the 5 is the success, right?
Mm-hmm.
What is your science score?
A 4.
Okay, so it's not a double success.
Oh no, yeah.
Okay, so it's just one success there. Okay, that's good. I'll get to you in a second. First thing with Thedagio, as you're scanning the radiation, you got 2 successes. You only needed 1 success, so you bank another one. That puts us back to 6 momentum. Scanning the radiation. The radiation itself, it's been a long time. So it doesn't really pose any threat to the away team right now. If you were directly exposed to it, like whatever hit the shuttle was so intense it burned it. So if you were exposed to the actual source of it, it would be highly lethal to any living person. But fortunately, since it's only burned into the shuttle and enough time has passed, that the danger has worn off.
okay.
And then Lieutenant Weber, looking at the radiation, you are scanning it. Again, you got 1 success, which puts you over. We already have 6, so that's a floating 1. Plus, you're going to get an extra free bonus momentum for any questions. So basically, you could ask up to 2 questions for free without taking away any of the momentum. But your scan of it with the pockmarks and the scoring and the damage, like looking at how it's perforated, you would expect that it was hit with probably some kind of shrapnel of some kind. But as you're looking closer with the scans and that, there's no remnants of anything inside of the actual holes. So whatever shrapnel or whatever small things it was that was pockmarking it, either were removed or they evaporated, they dissipated, but there's nothing left behind.
Mm-hmm. Would I have to come up with the follow-up questions myself, or is it gonna share it with the others?
If you want to talk with everyone about it, like right now, especially like if you want to talk in character, Thadagia is definitely free. If you want to talk with the other members in the moments before they're going to open the hatch, time is flexible in this situation, so you can do that. So it depends on how you want to discuss this. Yeah.
Look, Lieutenant, there's no traces of whatever caused these holes here.
That's to everyone, yeah?
Yeah, just everyone who's around listening.
Certainly weird, and something we will need to look into as to what caused such holes.
If anyone has suggestions for the free, he has 2 free follow-up questions he could ask. To basically, when you're asking questions, delving deeper into the data to see what you can find or follow up on any leads.
By pockmarks,
I
you
was
mean
muted.
dents, not holes, right? Like, they didn't pierce through.
Yeah, that's true. It's not pierced through.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, it would just be dents inside, like something hit the ship with enough force to actually dig a hole into it, but it didn't punch through into the interior.
Given its radiation, does it look as though it came from a weapon, or does it look like it might have been, or could have been, something natural, like, say, an asteroid or something like that? What could it have been, a man-made object, or could it have been natural?
Is that the question you want, Julian?
Yeah, and I think I have the second one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Should we take that one first? The first one is that it doesn't appear to be a man-made weapon. As for it being natural, it would have to be natural, but you're not entirely sure what kind of intense radiation burst does something like this. But no, it doesn't have any signs of being artificial.
Okay. And my question would be, can we see if it was hit within the atmosphere or outside?
Oh, that's a good question. Yeah, as you're looking this, it appears that from your scans that this damage was sustained before it entered the atmosphere.
Oh, okay.
Good question. You still have 6 momentum, so more questions are still allowed. Those 2 were just going to evaporate no matter what. So if there's anything further you want to dig into, by all means.
Well, there's probably no way whatsoever to find out if it was hit before it sent out the probe, right?
What's that?
Detail.
What's that?
There's probably no way to find out if it was hit before it sent out the probe.
Oh,
there was no indication of the radiation on the probe that we detected. We weren't.
Yeah.
We weren't looking for the radiation at the time, though. So. Maybe not.
Yeah, that's not even using a momentum for that, because there's nothing right now that would tell you which happened first. Did it get hit with the radiation before or after? You're not sure. If there's no other question, you could just mull that around in your head for a bit, and we'll go back to opening the door.
Yeah. How's that door coming?
Is that okay?
Lieutenant James.
Okay, door should be ready to pop open now with no power in. It's going to be more of a manual release.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Do I need to roll for that, or?
No, we could just do it regular. So Thishran and Drake, you have your phasers drawn, yes?
Yes.
So do I.
Okay.
Whatever.
Weber
Okay.
pulls out his as well. Thadagia hides behind a rock, shrieking, just in case. just in case.
Is it one of those styrofoam?
Yeah, oh yeah, it's one of the large styrofoam rocks. Yeah, just the same kind
Hold on.
that are inside the bridge consoles, but just much larger.
Well, I was going to say, isn't that meant to be on the bridge?
Yeah, no, the smaller ones go inside the consoles. The large ones are meant for just intermittent spacing on planets with nothing else around them. Okay, so yeah, Tadashi is behind that, just preemptively shrieking, right, Tadashi?
Oh,
Yeah.
of course.
I would love if that was a true thing about his character. Okay, but I think that was the last Doctor actually, so not Tadagio. Okay, so the hatch comes open, and when it pops and starts opening, it opens with kind of an exhausted hiss type sound as the air that's been locked inside there, whatever last air was for however long, is finally just burst out as the new atmosphere floods in again finally. So the air that comes out, it does have a very heavy and unpleasant stale stench to it, and for Theshran and Drake being the closest ones, and James as well with getting the hatch open there, it hits you pretty strong. If Alder was on the planet, he would recognize it as the pungency, but since he's still on the ship, he can't actually smell it from up there.
There's like an alert going off on my dash.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh Jesus, pungency detected.
Yeah. But yeah, there's a wave of stale air that just comes out, and then immediately it's dissipated as the atmosphere gets through it. But as the door opens completely, you notice, of course, unsurprisingly, it's very dark inside. And looking in, there's nobody runs out, nothing comes making a sound. It's just empty, and you just get a slight greenish silhouette of the pilot seats at the front of the shuttle, with the filthy windscreen in front of it.
Can we see if they're occupied from here?
I'd like to say that me and Drake swing in, like with our phasers, and whatever's behind us, there's like a shot of that people use as their wallpapers on their phones.
Yeah. Okay. The hero shot of the three of you
charging, pointing the phaser.
Yeah. In the dark shuttlecraft with a green atmosphere behind you.
Yes. But the seats of the shuttle is empty, right?
The seats are empty. Drake, okay. You have your little wrist lights that they have on Star Trek. The little jogging lights that they wear all the time. You point your Iron Man fist into the front, and you do see what looks like a little tuft of hair sticking up from the front of the pilot seat.
Drake will chin towards the seats at the front to the Shran, and then starts making his way towards the chairs to see if what he is expecting is there.
Okay.
The Shran just grabs Drake by the side, just screams "brah" really loud. Brah!
Start shrieking again. Lots of shrieking going on. Okay, Drake, you slowly approach, and as you get to the chair, you do notice there is a body occupying the seat. Are you going around the side, or are you swiveling it to face you?
I will go around the side. I don't want to mess with this crime scene just yet.
Okay. So yeah, you make your way around the side, and you do see a desiccated, almost mummified body with wiry hair that just kept on expanding as the body was shrinking, and just all that's liquids evaporating over the years. And what you do notice is it is in a Starfleet monster maroon lost era type uniform, just fixed in its position at the helm. No other bodies, no other crew on the ship, just a single mummified corpse.
I don't know if we'll allow this, but at this point in time, because I could picture it, the lights come on as Lieutenant James sort of plugs in a portable generator into the shuttle to try and get some power in. And so, the Drake sort of gets around the side of the chair and looks at the body there, and suddenly everything lights up.
Everything lights up.
All the panels just...
Officially, how that's done is when there's equipment that needs to be used that hasn't been pre-planned for, you do a momentum spend to say that's a opportunity cost to buy it in the opportune moment. But since this is something that we never really had to use before, that's your freebie here. That's to hook the kids, keep you coming back for more. So yeah, no,
Thank you.
no momentum on there. But yeah, you bring your...
Very cool, though. Will we use it in the future?
Oh yeah, that's for everything. Yeah, a lot of things
Yeah.
have opportunity costs. Weapons also, depending on weapon, they will have an escalation cost. That if you want to use like a phaser rifle instead of a standard phaser, it has escalation, which adds to threat as well because you're taking a very high-powered, dangerous weapon out instead of your standard Starfleet thing. So you're making the situation dangerous already by being threatening yourself. So it's some things have escalation, some things have opportunity, but other random things, if you don't have it but you need it, be like, can I say I have it? And you spend the momentum. Oh wait, I can see on the camera. Can I do? Oh, hey, where'd it go? It's back again. Magic. There we are. Okay, blue screen. It's lovely. Okay. Yeah, so lights come on as you're looking at this corpse, and then the power comes fully back on. All the consoles start lighting up. Everything is covered with a layer of grime and dust by this point of things that have been sifted around in there. The last time the door was shut before it was never opened again by this person.
It was unnoticeable to most people, but when the lights came on, it startled Drake and he almost shot the corpse. So he was giving a bit of a death glare to James, who's all happy about turning on the power.
Well, she's a scientist and an engineer first, so security wasn't even a thing for her. She just went straight in and started working on the power, and power comes up, she looks up, and you're all like startled and like, whoa.
He shoots a corpse, dry corpse catches on fire, the shuttle's on fire now, everyone's running out. Tadajia was already shrieking before that even happened and just watching them, everyone aflame running out the back of a shuttle. Like, I know it! Fire demons! Okay. Alright. So yeah, now everyone is kind of well aware by Drake's reaction that yes, indeed, the shuttle is occupied, but it's... Yeah.
I'll shout out quite loudly over Thadajia, screaming to say that there's a body in here if he wants to come and take a look.
What does it look like?
Looks like Tutankhamun, if you know who that is.
Is it scary? Okay. Thadajia, you going to scan the guy?
Yes.
Okay. So you come into the shuttle, and yeah, indeed, you see a mummified body in the seat, and you start doing your scans on it. Don't need to do a roll for this one, but you could tell that just by the scan, he's been there for over 60 years. It's a female, in fact, you could tell. She has been there for over 60 years. And it would appear that she has died from dehydration. And that's not a joke because she's a mummy.
Can I also tell what race she was?
Yeah, scanning her, you can tell, and also going by the wiry white hair that's left behind, she was Ephrodsian, just like your other pilot that nobody remembers the name of, Roxley or whatever his name was.
Subject appears to be Ephrodsian. I'm just gonna put that little fact out there, just to...
Having a quick look at the computers, is there any way of identifying the person either through command codes that they might have used or anything along those lines.
As you're going around at the console and you see Thadagia scanning everyone doing their thing, and you're going around to see what you can find, you notice now that the power is on the ship is there is a blinking light on the console directly in front of the corpse that it looks like a log has been recorded.
Would you like me to play that log, Lieutenant Drake?
Yes, Lieutenant James, let's see what the dying will was.
I play the log that's there.
Okay, the log comes on. Its qualities kind of crackling. Again, the ship wasn't in the best condition to begin with when it was landed, but it starts playing in the faint voice, and basically to roughly paraphrase what it was saying with just a couple of details is the speaker identifies herself as Commander Hess of the USS Darwin. And she explains as the log is breaking and some parts are cutting out, some parts are getting too distorted over the years. But what you're able to pick up is that the Darwin was the victim of a surprise attack of what they believe to be a Romulan vessel out there in the Shackleton Expanse. And they were being hunted by the Romulans and trying to evade them as best as they can for quite a number of weeks. But this vessel kept hunting them down, firing on them as often as they could get a shot. So the Darwin was spending a number of days just doing quick warp jumps from system to system, trying to find a place to hide. That's when they came upon this system, and they discovered a comet with unusual properties, where it was a highly ionized radioactive comet that was large enough that a ship such as the Darwin and Oberth class science vessel would be able to hide inside one of its passages. The reason why they chose to do so was due to the radiation pretty much making interior scans of the comet impossible. And as the comet itself approaches the star and the gas jets were firing off the tail of the comet, all the gas is being expelled, that was highly damaging to vessels, to shields, to sensors. A large vessel like a not a capital ship, I don't know what you want to call it, but like an actual ship, like the Oberth class vessel, they were able to strengthen their shields enough to breach into this tail of the comet to try to get inside one of its caverns. By that point, they were losing power, they were losing their engines, so this was their last-ditch effort to find a place to park and pray that they couldn't be discovered by this Romulan ship that was chasing them. Commander Hess says that she volunteered to take a shuttle out to try to get word back to the Federation to let them know that the Darwin was still alive and hiding inside this comet. But unfortunately, she was also discovered by the Romulans, and that's when she did an encoded message on a distress beacon, fired it out, and then pretended to crash her shuttle into one of the planets, or one of the moons, I should say, in the system. But unfortunately, the damage that she did sustain from the comet's jet as she was leaving, as well as the Romulan disruptors, once she got into the atmosphere, she realized she wasn't going to be able to take off again without further repairs. And as no rescue ship had come in the weeks that she had been waiting, she realized that her distress beacon never reached the ears of the Federation. And she then ends the message with some personal messages for her families, and also to the families of the crew of the USS Darwin. And the message goes on, listing as much as she can about the Darwin, as her voice gets weaker and weaker before the message finally ends.
Lieutenant James,
Lieutenant.
please make sure you copy that recording as well as you can. We'll be needing to send that back home.
Yes, sir. I would like to try and, with the shuttle's power on, can I transmit that up to the ship, our ship?
Certainly, go ahead.
Okay, that won't be too hard for you to do. Trying to get that transmitted, so you'll be working on that. Anyone else? What's happening?
Along with, I'll also, all the ships, all the shuttles logs, basically. So that message and pretty much everything else I'll send up to the ship.
Okay.
Transmit up.
Yeah. And could you also specifically look for any more details regarding the comet that the Darwin set down on, and send that up to the ship as a priority to see if it's still within the system?
Yes, sir.
Okay, if nobody else is doing anything there, back on the ship, Commander Locke and Alder, you are getting the data sent up there, including the information about the comet that Darwin took refuge in.
Lieutenant, excuse me, Lieutenant Alder, I'd
Yes,
like you
Commander.
to search the local area for any possible leftover traces of this comet, and then begin searching for the comet itself. This seems to be our next best lead for finding the Darwin.
Yes, Commander. I'll narrow our search parameters to specifically look for what the log file has mentioned, and let you know if I find anything.
Excellent.
Okay, Alder, can you give me that scan? And I need someone else to do a follow-up with the, what's it called? Tyson, the DEGRASSE TYSON. So with your scan, that's just a typical sensor scan that you're looking for. But if you want to do anything special with it, if you have anything in mind, let me know, Mr. Alder.
I don't suppose, well, I suppose I can use my little astrophysics focus here, or maybe not, I don't know.
Yeah, that could work, yeah, definitely.
Well, we'll put a focus in, and just our complication task rolls, 1 and 2 specifically, and go.
And
for
you
it.
have a lot of momentum as well, so if you want to spend anything with momentum, remember when the scene ends, you're losing momentum anyhow. But I heard whoops, so let me see, something already happened.
I rolled for the ship.
Well, thank you, sir. That was kind of you. All right. Well, we already have 4. Oh my God, 4. So 4, it was only going to be a difficulty of 1, so you have 3 leftover momentum. 3 leftover momentum that can't be banked because you're already at maximum. So if there's anything you want to use with that, think about it. But you are scanning the system. Again, it could be, it's a pretty wide scan, but with how successful you are, we'll say, it doesn't take you too long especially since you know the type of comet you're looking for, which there are indeed thousands and thousands of comets in this area, but you now know the kind of radiation you're looking for. You now know it's a massive enough comet that even an Oberth class science vessel would be able to hide within it. So narrowing that down, eventually I'd say within the hour you do discover the comet, or the most likely comet, the only one that fits the description, which is a little farther out from where your ship currently is, but it is still in a permanent orbit in this system.
I suppose I can use, well, let me use some momentum to just ask a question then.
Yes.
Perhaps I've been running a scan at the same point for any signs of like a Romulan ship, as like they're stating in that log. Have I been able to spot anything connected to that ship at all?
You don't detect any traces of anything Romulan around there, like nothing matching Romulan energy signatures. You're not detecting like any stations or facilities they're giving off any kind of Romulan signals in the known area. So whatever ship that might have been that attacked them, it could have just been hunting them there and not be connected to the system. But no, you don't detect anything Romulan.
Okay, well then, last question then. Anything out of the ordinary, strange, or suspect about the comet that I can detect?
Again, once you lock onto it, you notice it is quite large. It is a large comet. Like a lot of them are massive, so it is a large one. It's just the radiation that's coming off of it seems very highly focused. It seems it's probably the most radioactive comet that you've ever found, and it's not even the fact that it's radioactive, but it's just the intense focused ionizing of this radiation that makes it stand out as kind of a unique comet in your view as a scientist.
Is there any way for me to counteract the radiation to be able to scan the interior of the comet?
No, what you're getting with how intense it is, there's no way the sensors would be able to penetrate it. You would have to actually fly into it, just like the Darwin did, in order to scan the interior.
Okay, well then, last question. Do you have any idea what causes the radiation? What the source is?
No, it just seems the material, whatever it's made of, is just emitting this radiation, and again, without being able to penetrate it, you can't really say, is it the material itself or is there something stuck to it? All of that is up in the air.
Okay, thanks. Commander Locke, okay, I relay the information. Like the radiation is still present, so I'm unable to get a scan of the interior. But at least we have now pinpointed the comet's location. Please let me know how we should proceed. If we should call back the away crew and make haste onwards.
How far is the comet from our current location?
Not too far from what the scans say, but yeah, it shouldn't take us too long to get there.
Should we send a probe out before we leave ahead of us?
Perhaps we could. I don't know if we'd had. What specifically would you want the probe to be looking for, or at least alerting us of?
Anything in the vicinity of the comet.
Indeed, we can send one out just in case. Better to be safe than sorry. And yeah, I suppose I go ahead and launch said probe.
Please do, and I'll contact the away team.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So I contact Lieutenant Drake.
Yes, Commander.
How is the progress of your inspection of the shuttle.
I look to James for an update. Are we almost ready to head back, Lieutenant James?
Quick GM question, I guess, first. Is the shuttle repairable enough that we could get it flying again? And would I need to roll for that?
I don't think you would need to roll for it, just looking at the condition. I'd say that with enough work, eventually, yeah, you could get flying again, but it's not something that could be done in a short amount of time. It would take possibly days, possibly weeks to get the right components in. But it's not that it's impossible to salvage.
Yep. Okay. Well, all the data has been transmitted up to the ship. We could probably get the shuttle working, but we'd be looking at a week or more, which I don't think is potentially worth what we're looking to do. Potentially we could come back, but it's an older shuttle. It's realistically not going to fly again. It's fixable, but time versus reward.
Understandable. In that case, DeGrasse, Tyson, could we please have the corpse of Captain Hess transported up, and we will make our way back shortly on the shuttle.
Of course, Lieutenant. I'll have it done.
Thank you, Commander.
Okay. Everyone's returning back then?
Yep, looks to be.
Okay. So eventually you get back up to the show, or to the DeGrasse Tyson, and we will... Give me 1 second. I gotta figure out which window it is. Okay. All right. So you'll get to the DeGrasse Tyson, and you will make your way onto the comet, and we'll catch on to what the probe did and everything there in a second. But yeah, let's just do that first. All right, so just fast forwarding to reaching the comet. The DeGrasse Tyson is catching up to it and just sort of matching its speed, which of course it's not going super fast or anything. But again, as you get close, Mr. Alder, your probe is giving back its telemetry. It's, again, not detecting anything else around the comet. It's moving pretty much as you would expect a comet to do. The only thing is, again, you cannot scan the actual core of it because of it being constantly enveloped in this radioactive cloud that it keeps firing off. The other things, just like the log from Commander Hess showed, and Alder, you would probably be connecting or consulting with the data that everyone had scanned on the planet with the shuttle. Before I continue, can I ask, are you hearing me? Is my voice breaking up?
We're hearing you.
No problem. Okay, I'm getting like flashes of like unstable internet connection on my screen, and I don't want to keep talking if I'm talking to nobody. Okay, but yeah, just like the readings on the shuttle shows that basically the radiation that's coming off of it is pretty intense, with the gas and rocks and little things, the ice particles that are firing off. That would most likely explain the pockmarking that was done on the back of the shuttle, because the shuttle would not have shields strong enough like an actual large vessel like the Oubliette class to deflect, and doesn't have its own deflector dish to keep it from getting hit like that. So that will explain why a small craft would be a terrible idea to send inside the cloud, while a large vessel like an Oubliette class would be able to strengthen its shields and prepare itself to enter until it gets to a safe point.
Captain, I'd like to request to scan for an entrance into said comet, perhaps we can follow it in and see if the Darwin is still there, or any signs of what may have happened.
Would you be able to prepare the shuttle or the ship for this? What would we need to do?
Well, depending on the size of the entrance, should we be able to detect it, we can either decide to take the ship itself in or use a shuttlecraft, but I suppose we'd need to also refer to Lieutenant James in case she can help us prepare in any way to counteract any negative effects of the radiation, if they are.
Very well. We will discuss this with Lieutenant James, and I believe Lieutenant Tadagia should give us his insight about what effects the radiation might have on us. Also, I think it might be wise for you to perhaps consult with Lieutenant Weber and figure out if there's anything else we need to do with the deflector dish or the shields as well that might be able to strengthen what we are doing.
Understood, Captain.
Does anyone want to chime in anything? As basically, everyone's just prepping stuff before we start assigning what we are going to do.
No, I'm good.
Oh, sorry. Am I actually able to detect the entrance in the comet?
No, nothing can get through. Nothing scanning through this cloud of the tail that everything is getting fired off. You get basically the only way you would be able to find whatever entrance that they would have chosen is you would have to fly in as well and look for a large enough opening for a vessel, which again, Berth, is roughly the same size as a Nova because you're both small science vessels.
Was there any indication in that log how they actually initially found the entrance, or was it just that they flew down and spotted it?
They basically flew in and spotted it because they found a comet that was large enough that they would be able to hide inside any kind of gap that they found, so they took the chance and they dove in.
Okay, cool.
Okay, everyone else is good? All right, so the captain is going to then assign, just like as Alder was saying, like having Lieutenant James prepare things. We're also going to say, because we need our good engineer, Lieutenant James, to be working on some things, the captain also sent a small away team, maybe just a medical crew member, a science crew member, and Lieutenant Commander Velik in one of the shuttles to go back to the planet to finish securing the ship and perhaps retrieving anything else that might be left behind. And we'll say that she also mentioned that she's doing it just in case they need somebody else on the outside to call for help for them now that there's no Romulans around, but you never know. It might be a good idea. So they have a small away team over there. But with Velik out of the way, then Lieutenant James is going to be able to take the top spot in the engineering department for now. So with that done, the captain will say with strengthening, we'll just jump to that. Let's say, as you said, strengthening things. So strengthening shields and deflector dishes, what do you think? What do you think, team? Do one, do both?
What type of radiation are we dealing with?
This radiation, it's kind of hard to say. It's a very intense, strong. You could say it's almost like gamma radiation with how strong it is and how deadly it could be if you're directly exposed to it. And the other danger is basically the jets of this comet tail as it's getting closer to the star. The evaporations, the gas is being released. It's firing all these rock and ice particles out, which is what pockmark the shuttle, because the shuttle shields are nowhere near the match of a larger vessel shields.
I think both. As a suggestion, if everyone's okay with this, I think perhaps Lieutenant Weber doing the shields and working out ways that we can maybe counteract some of the radiation and or other things that the comet will have, and I'll work on the deflector dish, trying to perhaps squeeze more power out of the EPS conduits to the deflector dish, and or working on the deflector dish itself.
Okay.
Yeah.
In that case, Commander Locke, who do you want working on each of these assignments? Again, we had the idea is strengthening shields to, I guess, protect against both the debris and the radiation, as that would be a bad way to end your day, being burned to death by that. And then deflector dish would, of course, be to make sure you don't get hit by all these little particles being fired out. Lieutenant James said she was taking the deflector shields one, or deflector dish one, so she could be the lead if you see that fit, and she recommended Lieutenant Weber to take the lead on the shields, right? Was that correct? I heard that correct.
That's what I suggest, yes.
Okay.
Well, I will have to take your suggestion as the best case scenario. I believe you know better than I in these type of situations, so please do, both of you, take the lead. And Lieutenant Thadagia, please assist with the radiation prevention, and also create a backup plan in case we are not able to completely block all the radiation. Want to make sure that the crew is safe.
Understood, Commander. I'd also like your permission to possibly administer a precautionary low-level radiation throughout the ship's systems, just in case that radiation does breach our shields.
An excellent idea. Have it done.
Thank you, sir.
And Lieutenant Alder, I'd like you to assist Lieutenant James.
Will do so.
And Lieutenant Drake, I know this seems rather unlikely, but I'd like you to keep an eye on our local vicinity for any possible Romulan ships.
Sounds like a good idea, sir. I'll get right on that.
While I highly doubt that one has been sitting around for 60 plus years, this still could be an area that they patrol. They might stumble upon us if fate is not on our side today.
Agreed. I'll keep the long-range sensors scanning the peripheries of these systems, sir.
And Lieutenant Strawn, I expect that this should be no pilot for you, or this should be no problem for you to pilot.
It rarely is.
All right. Well, I'm counting on you. We all are.
Yes, sir.
All right. Everyone knows what to do. Let's begin.
Okay, let's do our first roll. Let's focus on the strengthening deflector dish first. If this succeeds, you will get the enhanced deflector's advantage on the ship for this endeavor. Hang on a second. Trying to do this. So that is going to be a who's taking the lead on this one again? That's James, right?
Yes.
Control and engineering for the deflector dish and it can be supported by reason and science, because you're trying to reason the best way to make it avoid the particles coming out of the comet. And I believe it's what Alder that is assisting with that, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So if you
May
can I also just say you have 5 momentum now. The scene changed, so you lost 1 momentum, and there's 5 momentum to use for this task if you want to do anything.
I was literally about to ask, may I, this is a question, first of all, to everyone. Would anyone mind if I spend a momentum for an extra dice?
Go for it.
Okay, spending 1 momentum,
Sorry.
yes.
1 momentum, correct?
This is going to be difficulty of 2 if I haven't said so already.
Okay, complication range?
Complication range of this will be, we'll say, you know what, it's usually 1, but I'm going to spend 1 point to make it 2.
Okay.
All
right. So
task roll 3, complication range
Yep.
of 2. Do you have any
2.
focus or anything else that applies for your character?
Not for the deflector dish directly.
Okay.
Given I did mention I was doing things like checking the EPS conduits and everything to the deflector dish to make sure that it's got more than ample power, and I do have a focus in the EPS system.
That works.
May I use
Sure.
a focus?
That sounds fine with
Thank
me.
you.
That would apply in this situation. The EPS is a big part of it, so yeah. I'd say you're rearranging the power system of that. I believe it. I am not doubting it. So yeah, go ahead.
Nice.
Okay, that's wonderful right there. And we still even need Lieutenant Alder's role as well.
Bull, how does it change again for support role?
It's only
ages since
one.
I've done
It's
that.
only going to be 1 die. So complication range of 2. We raise that up.
Mhm.
But task roll of 1. And do you have?
I don't get to use it.
Do you have
Yeah.
a focus? Do you have a focus that applies? Then you can.
Engineering prowess,
Oh, there you go.
I would say.
Let's
right?
go. Yeah. Why not?
And that's just a task roll 1, complication range 2, focus use yes, reason science.
Yes. There you go. That's a total
Nice.
of 6 successes. You only needed 2. You get 2 back, and you have 6 successes. You needed 2, so you have 4. You got 2 back. So there's 2 extra momentum on there. In fact, you got the enhanced deflectors, so you have 2 extra momentum. If you want to actually create another advantage in that could make the shield thing go easier, you could spend it on that.
Yeah. Yeah, if we can help in any way strengthen the shields as well through the deflector.
Because the numbers are pretty bad that I'm probably rolling on.
Okay, well we'll say you gained the advantage of like basic EPS efficiency, where you're rerouting the power through your now enhanced deflectors, and that can now be utilized for the shields as well. So that's going to lower the difficulty down for Lieutenant Weber to this is also difficulty 2, so that takes a difficulty of 1. Let's see, your Weber, what are you doing? You're doing control and I think control and engineering or science both works. What say you?
Well, then I would say science.
Okay, control and science.
I haven't focused on combat tactics. I don't know if
Well,
stretch.
Tactics, no. If it was just like security
Yeah.
things, that might have been able to work. Tactics, unfortunately, no.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, well, control and science on that, and Tadagia, you're focusing on the medical aspect of that. So for you, it's also going to be a reason and medicine, because again, you want to make sure the shields are functioning in a way that cuts that out.
So I'm giving it another try on this form here.
Okay.
Sorry.
Oh, you got one, but you only rolled one die, so you need to roll one
Oh,
more
that's-
die.
Okay.
So you got one, you need one more, so just click it
Yeah.
again. Yeah. There you go. Okay, 2 successes, you only need one, and Gene rolled the 2 when he only needed to roll 1, but still at the same time, we'll just say one of this is a success. As Gene was supporting, you only roll 1, but we'll count that as a success too. Why the heck not? So you got your 1 to pass. Since you only need 1, you got 2 extra momentum left over. And Tadagia, you said you wanted to do like some precaution, some like protocol in place for radiation exposure, try prevent against exposure. Now you could do that without a roll by spending 2 momentum, and you just so happen to have 2 momentum over what you can max out, so you could use that extra momentum to also get your radiation protocol in place.
All right.
So
I will do that.
yeah, so you got that all there. So both departments, after a few hours of working, you got both of your missions completed. If you're wanting to report that in.
Do indeed.
Radiation prevention. Okay, we got 3 advantages stacked on the ship right now. All right, that's good. Okay, so everything's reported to the captain, and the shields are basically as strong as they're going to get. The deflectors are strong as they're going to get. And Thishran is back at the helm now. So, Mr. Thishran, it might be up to you to take us in.
All right. I will key in the appropriate coordinates and head that way.
Okay, and here we go. So the ship is going to enter into the tail of the comet, not shown to size, not shown to scale, I might add. Okay, but just representation. So flying in. Now this is going to be an extended task for you, because this is going to be a pretty rough ride. As soon as you cross into the tail, you realize this is not your typical comet tail of just ice particles and rocks coming out and pelting you. Whatever is driving this radiation is pushing it like a wave. It's firing out in strong jets. So the moment you cross that threshold, the ship starts shuddering and shaking and trembling. All of you on camera, you know what to do. It's the shimmy. So there, okay, you got. Okay, so you get inside the shield, and this is going to be an extended task for you to see what you could do. Now, the good part is you do have 6 momentum, and that this is going to be daring and con, as you realize this is not a straightforward piloting. So DEGRASSE TYSON is rocking and shaking from side to side, and you now realize this is not just your standard punching this button here and there. Yeah, there he goes, shaking. This is one you're going to have to really do almost manually, controlling to make sure you're not there. Everywhere on the ship, you're hearing thuds, bangs as particles are slamming into the shields, getting repelled by the deflectors, but it's massive. It's coming, and it just sounds almost like it's raining outside the ship as it's rocking in. So it's daring and con right now. Now let me read through all this here real quick. All right, yeah, we have to do that. Okay.
Lieutenant James is almost in tears with the thought of all the scratches and paintwork that's been ripped off the ship.
Okay.
Definitely scratch the paint.
Okay. Okay, so we're good on that. So let me just make a check mark here because you got that advantage there. Okay, so that is now 0. Let me do that because you got enhanced deflectors. All right, here we go. This is a difficulty 5.
Okay.
So
and I do have momentum to get extra dice for this.
you do. It's
Or-
difficulty 5. Now
okay.
remember, this is extended task, so it's difficulty 5. There's resistance of 1. However, that's taken down to 0 because of the enhanced deflectors. So that's not going to remove any of the what's it called, the work that you generate by this extended task. Now the work track is at 16 and it's a magnitude of 4, so it's pretty massive. Now other people of course could try. What's that?
I just want to take a minute to
Yeah.
remind everyone as we begin this how much threat we have. So strap in, everyone.
You don't have to.
Yeah.
You don't have to remind me. Anyhow, now this can be assisted with control and science. This can be assisted with control and science because you're basically watching the sensors and trying to calculate like the safest areas to go through. So somebody with science could do that, control and science, and it can also be supported by the ship itself because you're using the sensors as best as possible. So sensors and con on the ship. So I need somebody controlling the ship, and if anyone else wants to assist on the science aspect.
I could.
You're more than welcome to if you want to. Control and science, you feel you're up to it, Mabrin?
Well, science I do, but control is
Well, go for it.
questionable.
Well,
Alright.
go for it. Go for it. Knock yourself out.
Did you tell me this was going to be a focus used?
Do you have a focus?
Oh, okay, yeah, not in this. Probably. Well, piloting.
Yeah.
Piloting
There
is
you
a
go.
focus.
You're a
Okay.
pilot. You're piloting. There's your
Yeah.
focus. You
Okay.
go.
Yeah, I'm sitting there reading the.
Okay.
So complication range is 5.
Okay. Oh, people are rolling already. Hang on. Something's happening. hang on. Slow down. We'll get to that in a second in case people want to spend stuff. So yeah, difficulty of 5. So complication range of 1 right now. And let's see.
Okay.
Okay.
You
So
can only have one assistance, right? And that would be
you
fair.
you could potentially have more than one. It depends if it's justifiable. And there are different ways of providing that as well.
So my idea was obviously there's lots of particles and chunks of whatever coming off of this comet trail.
Mhm.
With Drake on his little tactical comms, would be keeping eyes out for anything a bit more on the larger scale that could cause issues for the ship, and has the phasers ready to try and disperse that before it becomes an issue for the shrine.
Okay, that's interesting. Why not? Let's try that. So let's get a security assist with that in there. That would be what were you thinking it is with your idea?
Would definitely be security, and I was thinking, obviously, given everything that's going on, this is probably going to be either control or daring, leading more towards daring.
I
in
was
this
going
case.
to say daring myself, so the fact that you said that, I highly agree. Okay, daring and security too. Why not? Okay. Also, if anyone wants to use, remember, if you have any talents, if you have a determination or anything you want to spend too. Now, this is an extended task. This is not a task. This is not done in one roll. Okay. This is until it passes or fails.
Okay.
So there's going to be more than one roll. With
So I've got a talent as bold con.
Bold con, that's if you buy an extra die by adding threat, you can re-roll that die. Or any die.
Okay, I see.
Yeah,
I got you.
You get a free re-roll on any extra die bought with threat.
I see. Okay, I got you.
Okay. So let's see, Weber, you are supporting with science, so that's going to be 1, it's going to be a task roll of 1 for you, okay? Because you were doing support. And also, if you had any focus that applied to that, which I don't think you do, but if you did, focus could be used as well.
No, there's not.
Okay.
Actually, I've been distracted by my dog, so I missed a couple of minutes. That's why I already rolled, because I wasn't sure.
Okay. Yeah, don't worry about it. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just 1 roll.
It'll just be a task roll of 1, so we'll see how that goes. First, let's go to Shran. Anything first?
Unless I can buy, unless it's recommended to get extra dice. Yes. Yeah. Okay.
think so.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. How many?
Yeah.
I'm gonna ask the group. How many do you think we
Difficulty
should get?
5 is one of the most difficult in the game. They could potentially go over, but they rarely do.
Got it.
Difficulty 2 is also extremely easy to fail without buying dice. So difficulty 5 can be can be a lot more dangerous.
I gotcha. And we have what, two momentum or 3?
You have 6 momentum.
Oh, I have 6.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You could
See,
buy
like-
2 dice for 3, and then if we have to do another roll, that's another 2 dice on the next set of rolls.
I see what you're saying. So 2 for now, and then okay.
And if you buy any with any momentum or with any threat, you get a free reroll on one of those dice.
I'm just not sure I'm comfortable adding any more threat to the pool.
Oh, come on now.
At this point, he's already got so much. What else?
He's
could
already
you
got
do?
so much. What's a few more? So
Do you think you're adding more options to me after I'm on this mountain? It's like
yeah,
after you're a
that's fair.
billionaire, it's
Yeah.
like I got $1 for you. It's like, okay, throw it with the others.
Right. Okay. So we'll buy the 2 die, and then
How are you spending it? Let me know.
Does the threat and the momentum? So obviously, to get 2 dice for momentum, it would be 3 momentum total.
It'll be 3 points. 3 points, and you could spend threat and momentum however you like.
So it's not like independent. So he couldn't get 3 dice with 1 threat and then 3 momentum.
He could buy 1 die for 1 point, either threat or momentum. Then the second die will cost 2 points, and that could be a mix of
I got it.
threat or momentum.
Okay, I got it. So let's do 2
So
dice.
seeing as you got bold, do 1 dice with the threat. That
Right.
gives only 1 threat, and then buy 2 dice. Sorry, your third dice, 4th dice, with
Right.
2 momentum.
Yeah. Well, I thought it was going to be 3 momentum and then 1 threat.
No, they're all paid at the same time. So it's,
They're all paid at the same
yeah,
time. Okay.
so it's however you decide how you're spending it.
Yeah, points are points regardless if it's
Yeah.
momentum or threat.
Okay. And when we're saying like it's how I'm spending it, I think that's where I'm confused at. Like,
So 1 threat for 1 dice, 2 momentum for the second dice. We could get 3 more with the remaining 3 momentum or 3 threat, but I'd say 2 for now.
Yeah, just
Okay.
picture it as like a dollar bill and a gold dollar coin. Okay, they're both $1, but they look
They're both
different.
$1,
So if it costs $2 and you give 1 bill and 1 coin, you're still buying it. But 1 is threat, 1 is momentum.
okay. So, I mean, I
My-
guess I'm. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, one thing I wouldn't mind people keeping in mind is we've got to get out.
Well, that should be easier. The Jets will be pushing us out.
Yeah.
So
I'm just throwing that out there. So we're
That's fair.
looking at
Yeah.
buying all this momentum and threat. Like just keep in the back of your head, we've also got to get out.
But also remember one thing that a lot of people do overlook in this game, and I'll just throw it out there. A lot of times people are hesitant in spending these things, the currency and that. But again, you get more dice by buying it, so you get bigger rolls, and bigger rolls could be extra successes, which then give you that momentum
Yeah.
right back. Which,
right
especially on low-level rolls, it's really productive. On high-level rolls like this, it's to keep you from dying. But on low-level rolls, like blowing all that momentum is like, well, it doesn't really matter. I'm going to overdo this and just get it all right back anyhow.
I got it. I think the right decision to do is put it in Drake's capable hands. What's the right call?
Great, thanks for that. I'd say 1 threat for 1 dice, 2 momentum for the second dice, giving you a total of 4. And then, depending on how that roll goes, we can up the ante on the next one. Yeah, we got to re-roll as well, and then we can up the ante on the next set of rolls.
Okay, so
Okay.
plus
And 2 assists.
and then you get the assist from Weber, and you get the assist from Drake, and you get the support from the DEGRASSE Tyson.
The ship.
Yeah. Okay, so -2 momentum. Ah, it's gone already. -2 momentum and +1 threat. That's where we are right now. Okay, daring and con. Drake is daring and security. Weber is I blanked.
Roland.
Yes. Okay, and the DEGRASSE Tyson is I said it and I don't remember. Sensors and con. Who's doing the DEGRASSE Tyson? Anyone?
I'll go for it.
Okay,
Go for it.
do it. Okay,
right.
so let's.
So I want to be complication range is 1, but the task roll I've got 5 dice now?
Task roll is 4. You bought 2 extra dice.
4. Okay, yeah. Okay, 4 is 2. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Oh, what's the complications starship task roll for this one?
It's just going to be 1, and make sure the focus is on.
Focus on and
Weber. Weber, yeah.
Hey, there we go. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So you got 6. That's 1 success. So that brings your 1 momentum back. Now, okay, now this is a what's it called? A extended task. It's an extended task. So you are rolling the dice against the work track. Now, this was just seeing if you succeed in the piloting roll, but now you're working against the work track for it. Okay? So now what you're rolling is you're rolling combat dice equal to 2 plus your skill. 2 plus your skill, what is your piloting skill, your con skill?
4.
Okay, so you're rolling 6 combat dice.
Okay.
Question, if I may.
Sure.
The combat dice, is that the challenge dice?
Yeah, I said combat because I'm stupid.
No, I was just checking.
Yeah, and those are the dice you
All
roll
right.
in combat for doing damage, but I get the names of this game mixed up all the time. But yes, it's a challenge die. That's exactly what it's supposed to be.
Gotcha.
And I did not.
I'm
remember.
rolling and 6 of them, right?
6 of them. Okay, now you got 1, 2, 3. You got 3 on there. Now, what you can also do for the... Oh, I should have just opened that. That would have made it easier for me. And I left the book over there, damn it. Now, you have 3 misses. You could spend 1 point of momentum to re-roll those 3 dice.
I want to say do it. I got the momentum back.
I would, yeah.
All right, so I'm only rolling 3.
Okay, and there you said, did you roll 3 or did you roll 6? Just do a task roll of 3 again. 3 instead. Ignore that second
task
one.
roll of 3.
Not task roll, just the challenge dice.
That was weird.
Okay, there you go.
Okay, there it goes. Yeah.
Okay, so
I entered 3, but I didn't hit enter. So.
That's probably why. So 2, 4, 6, and that other one is a 7, which is a good thing. So that is 7 points off of the work track right now. Okay, taking you from 16 down 19. This is how much effort it's taking for you to go through the comet to reach your goal, is what the work track is. So right now your piloting roll that you did. You successfully enter, you're able to control the ship, and you're navigating, and the DGT is like swiftly going in. You got your science support, you got your sensor support, security support. You're missing all the big chunks, and you're navigating in directly. The roll you just did there is how successful your success was, basically, which means you are definitely going in faster, maybe, and more direct than you otherwise would have been, taking you down from 16 to 9. Now, there's other spends that you can do on these extended tasks. I don't know if anyone has the book open, but I, like a smart man, I closed my PDFs to save computer space as soon as the game started. And I realized, oh, I had it open for a reason. But there are other momentum spends on these rolls that you could do. But right now, you needed 5. You needed 5 points to get 1 breakthrough. And this is a magnitude of 4, so you need 4 breakthroughs to win. But that takes it down to 3. So you basically covered a fourth of the way there successfully with no problem, is what that is, with very little damage, very little problem, going in like that. And the extra over 5, those 2 points over, that just helps take down the work track more. And like the work track going down to 0 makes your success come faster, because you're getting into it. But you need those 3 more breakthroughs to successfully reach your goal. Okay? So that's how it goes. I know it's been a long time since we did an extended task, but it wouldn't really make a lot of sense right now to spend more momentum on the challenge dice, like building up how many more hits, because you really only get that benefit at 5, or if the track is going to hit 0, which you can't do with the remaining momentum that you have. So it's basically good to stop there for right now on this first roll. Okay?
Okay.
So now that you also reach 1 breakthrough, or breakthrough, I don't know what accent that is. You made 1 breakthrough. That also lowers the difficulty going forward. So it's only a difficulty of 4 right now. Okay? So doing that now, here's the other thing. Let me just see here. Okay, so far so good. The shields are holding up, no problem there. Ship is shaking. Captain Savick will say to you, hold us steady, Lieutenant. You're doing fine. Going in. And now your second roll, everyone. Second roll, everyone can jump in. Like usually you could do other things to pepper through here, but we're getting close to our stopping point. So I want to just end the task. So go to the next roll. It's basically the same situation, but difficulty of 4 right now. And nobody buying extra dice? Nothing? No more dice? I heard
I'd say roll the same as before.
Oh, I said the roll is the same as before, so yeah. But if you're buying more dice, you'll have to choose. It's a different roll now.
I think just do the threat and the 2 momentum again.
Yeah, I think we'll just do the same again. So task roll of 4.
Okay.
Complications range is still 1.
Complication range is still 1. Yeah.
Okay.
You can re-roll 1. You can re-roll 1. We bought 1 with threat. You can re-roll 1.
I can re-roll 1.
You can
re-roll 1.
Yeah.
Okay. So task roll 1.
Weber needs to get us a 2. Come on, Weber. Oh, the ship as well.
The ship as well.
Yeah. Oh.
Come on, the ship. Yay, the ship.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. Barely. But yes, you got it. You got it. Okay. This time the ship is rocking even harder. It's shaking a lot more. You're hearing louder thumps hitting, but you are still navigating on your course to the source of where this radiation is coming from. Same thing. 2 plus your skill, so 4 challenge dice.
Okay.
That wasn't nail-biting at all.
yeah. Good old DEGRASSE TYSON. Okay, so you have 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 2 more. Roll 2 more.
Oh, two more.
Yeah, your skill's 4 plus 2 more, so 2 more. One,
Okay.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You got 6 right there. I don't know if you want. I might not want to spend a point to re-roll that last one because getting the 6 is okay.
Nah.
So -6 more, taking you down to work track at 3. That is another breakthrough. But also now we're on the second roll, so I get to roll the. You're still stuck inside the thing. You're not through yet. So now systems might start to get affected by this. So, what is that? One, that is 2 and 1. What is the resistance on the DGT?
GT. Oh, yeah. Where do I check that, Paul? Resistance on DD.
There should be a resistance number maybe under the stats somewhere.
Stats, dice roller, systems, ships.
Let's see if I
Where
can.
they attributes and abilities, no? Character sheet. Power.
3, it's resistance 3. It's
Resistance
next
is
to
3,
the
yeah.
ship.
Ah,
Yeah.
It's underneath scale. Yeah.
Okay, so
Okay.
resistance 3. And that is just enough resistance to resist the resist I just threw at you. So piercing the 1 takes it down to 2, and it was 2 points now, but it's going to get more and more intense the closer you get in. Go on to your next roll. It's now, you got another breakthrough, so you're now at difficulty of 3. Because you did get 5 points on there.
You
Okay,
still have 2
It's-
momentum left, right?
you still have 2 momentum left, yes.
Okay.
Same again.
I think same again. One threat, 2 momentum.
All right. So it's going to put me back at 4 dice again. So.
Hmm.
Commander Locke, you want to say anything cheerful?
Don't die.
Sure would be nice if something, maybe Romulan ship showed up that we could shoot at.
He's
Stop
getting,
jinxing it, Commander.
yeah, the ship's rocking. He's just like getting bored. Okay, all right, go ahead. Oh, oh my God, there's a Targ on the bridge. There's a Targ on the bridge. Was attacking
no.
Weber. Okay. Oh my God, what's happening now? Hang on. I don't know who this is. Okay. Are we buying anything extra? Buying anything extra?
Yeah, same as last
Yeah,
time.
we kept
Okay.
the same. Yeah.
Okay, so all the.
Yeah, so 1 threat, 2
Okay.
momentum.
Okay. There we go. So we got 1 success so far. We got a complication by Weber.
Sorry.
Broke the senses.
Nothing from the Tyson.
Yeah,
We're
I'd
good.
already
We're good.
rolled.
Oh, you rolled?
Yeah.
I didn't see you roll.
Yeah, so
Oh, that's a what? Oh my God! Then what the hell? Why do I care about the rest of this stuff? Okay, there you go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 2 momentum back because the difficulty is only 3 right now because you are in the groove there, Thishron. So yeah, you got it, and it's going to be complication. I'm just going to take that as 2 more points of threat. Why not? Because I have ideas. Okay, roll your 6 challenge dice.
Got it. 6 challenge.
Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's enough to take it down to 0, which gets you the last 2 breakthroughs because you got 5 points over and you took the work track down to 0. So, Thishram, would you like to narrate the successful ending of that piloting maneuver you did? And let's get us in on here. Would you like to narrate your successful reaching? Hang on, saying that's the wrong
I
one.
doubt there's a whole lot to.
No, I won't put it on this one right now. There we go.
Yeah, I doubt there's a whole lot to brag about. I would like to. Though he made it seem effortless, he was. There was a lot of concern. He never noticed that his prosthetic antenna fell off during the whole thing.
He didn't notice, but the rest of the crew did, and lot of awkward glances going around.
Such a great crew. They never said a
yeah.
word. Just let it go.
Okay, you breach through to the core of this massive comet, and you see the craters in front of you. You see the jets of the steam and gases being released, coming out. The ship got no problems at all after all that. Actually, I'm supposed to roll 2 more dice, but I'll do it. That is actually pretty good, but with how good you did, forget that. So as the ship was scraped by all the particles firing off, you still got through no problem. You see directly in front of you there that massive rocky surface of the comet standing there before you, and all the gases, radioactive gases and energies being fired off, spitting out around the ship. But you are now almost in the calm beneath the storm, and there is this large black chasm directly in front of the ship, and suddenly your ship starts getting pulled closer and closer into the chasm, even though you are no longer attempting to fly forward, Thishran.
Is that a tracker beam?
Captain looks over to Commander Lulk, looks over to Lieutenant Alder at the ops station, but nobody's getting any signal of any energy pulling you. But that doesn't stop to explain that the ship is going in, and I am spending 14 threat. Good gravy.
Oh, that's gonna be good.
There we go.
Ship
I better
just
count that. I
explodes
better
in
count that
space,
later.
just Death Star style. Just
Borg cube.
14 threat.
Shut up.
Just
Okay, here it is.
as soon as
No,
you
no,
thought you reached
Not
the
a whole cube. It's a sphere.
Yeah, it's a
The whole
sphere.
comet is actually a whole sphere.
It's a sphere. Your ship just lurches forward. Everyone is kind of thrown back into the seats. Thadagia down in sickbay. You are thrown against the wall. Down in engineering, everyone's doing the whole going from side to side on the different handrails, testing them out for structural support like they do in the show when it gets pulled somewhere. And you fly into this darkness, and the whole ship starts rocking, shaking violently like an earthquake, trembling through as everything goes black. And we are going to stop there for a commercial break, and we will resume in 2 weeks to figure out what you just flew yourself into. But I want to say bravo on that flying check, Thishran, and some very...
absolutely.
What's that?
If you had spent 13 threats, you could have spelled out "to be continued." That's 13 letters.
Oh, damn it! Damn it! Okay, wait. I gotta take that back, everyone. Taking it back. Let's walk it back. Walk back. Now it had to be 2 points per person in the scene, so I had to do 14. That's the only way to trigger it. But I just want to say thank you, everyone. Welcome back. Welcome directly to Lieutenant James into the game, and welcome back to everyone else. We have our episode kicked off, so we will resume it again, planned in 2 weeks to part B of this episode, and see what awaits you inside the darkness. Everything good?
Absolutely.
No.
Yeah. No, not at all.
All right, stopping the recording and saying thank you. Thanks, nice joining you. Everyone else, just stick around. I'll say my farewells in a second, but thanks. It was fun, and see you next time.